And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 223. So I hope you guys had a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, just in a little bit after we talk for a little bit, as the boys, we're going to do our Thunderbolts open spoiler discussion for the 36th film of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this movie ends Phase 5. It feels like just yesterday, 17 years ago, the first Iron Man movie came out back in 2008 and kicked off this whole thing. And some would say that, it's been at a low, that joke that was in Deadpool and Wolverine, when they told Deadpool, you're kind of entering the MCU at a low point. That joke was so true in Phases 4 and 5. It was
definitely true.
But
definitely true.
How many of you guys actually knew Thunderbolts ended Phase 5? I'm pretty sure most of you forgot because no one really follows the whole phases thing anymore.
I don't think that matters. I was about to say, I don't think that matters as much. Or maybe it does to some people, but I don't think as the general public, they don't care about it that much.
Yeah. It feels like the whole phases thing is just not something that is in active conversations anymore.
Because it used to be a big thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, I remember oh, okay, we're going to a new phase. That meant like the movie that ended it. The movie that ended it was like a big deal, and then that first movie going into it was a big deal,
Yeah. And then as you guys probably haven't heard of this, Kevin Feige also announced it was the Comic-Con back in 2022 when we were supposed to get Kang Dynasty. Was crazy.
Yeah, wasn't that supposed to come out like today?
This week. Literally this week. Oh no!
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not trying to be that guy.
Though. Stuff happens though. I mean,
you hire
a
black guy. They get in controversies. Christ. You know that.
But that's the stupidest thing. Like that's
I'm just
so
saying,
dumb.
There's a coincidence.
So we don't hear that's this big deal about the Nicolas Cage Superman. It got canceled. It got canceled.
What's his name?
They made a documentary.
The freaking Rust situation. You can't trust white people with guns. You guys shoot up schools.
But what I'm saying is like people with this franchise, with the MCU, they will find anything. Dude, they went on Comic-Con and announced a plan, right?
Yeah.
But then you hear, they don't have a plan. They don't do nothing. And then it's like, okay, there's no winning with you fucking people. There's no winning. These frustrated people that like can't wait to watch something just to shit all over it. It's just like, dude, your opinion is tired and it's played out. Be real. Be real.
Our
about what we're going to talk about.
We're going to also give him a hug later on in this show. But
no,
he ended up
I don't need a hug. I don't need to beat the void. That's enough.
You already have your white rage and I have black guilt. So that's a perfect match. So I will say this, because people generally, when they say things on social media, it never kind of matches up when they talk on, let's say, their podcast shows. For everything that I told you guys on Twitter, I am keeping what I will say here when we get to the spoiler discussion, because that's going to be a video I'm going to clip out and just put it up like I usually do when we have stuff here. I will say this, because, and I get the point of view, because I'll reference this in the video too. I understand being skeptical of what the MCU has done recently.
100%.
Out of
100%.
Like the last 11 movies, only 3 of them have been borderline watchable.
I don't know how many there's been, but since Endgame, I have not liked a lot of the movies.
Well, let's run them down, because
listen, people can shit on me all they want. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me less rich. And it doesn't make me less.
Okay, now he's just pulling out.
It doesn't make me less sitting on my golden toilet taking golden shits.
Okay, now you sound like Elon Musk.
While you struggle to eat TV dinners. No, I'm just joking.
Hey, whoa. Marie Callender's TV dinners are fire. Hey, just putting them out there.
All right, yeah. Well, my wife makes good movie.
You sound like when Elon Musk had that interview with Tucker Carlson, where it went basically like a girlfriend he had was mad at him for not settling down, and then Elon Musk told her, well, it's just like technology. You have once in a while it's going to get outdated and you got to upgrade. And she said,
Jesus Christ.
I'm not going to lie, that's a banger thing to say. That's kind of funny. Yeah. And if you're Elon Musk, you have women just kind of, let's be honest, you're flaunting themselves at you constantly because you're rich.
Did you watch the premiere episode of Kill Tony on Netflix?
No, what's that? I've heard of it.
Okay, well, Kill Tony is it's a comedy show that's been around for a really long time. That it's Tony Hinchcliffe and like the whole Joe Rogan squad of people. But
Mhm.
the cool part of it is they bring random people up on stage and they get to do their like 1 minute act to see if they're any good. But it's usually like a giant fucking train wreck. Well, what was funny is they had this guy who does an Elon Musk impression on as it was so funny, dude. Like the Elon Musk stuff was so and then when they brought what's his name doing Trump, I can never remember the name. I'm so terrible with names. But the guy that does Trump,
You turning into Joe Biden on us? Can't remember where he's
I
at.
listen, I'm very bad with names, all right? Very
Golly.
bad. I admittedly
I'm not gonna
am
lie.
terrible with
Before you
names.
send me a friend request on Facebook, I thought you had a different kind of white guy name. I thought you'd be like a Jeff. You just look like a Jeff for some
Well,
reason.
whenever I got your request, I didn't think that was what I was like, wait a minute here.
This is a hot, rich, good-looking black guy. You're like, man, that guy really got it going on.
I thought your name was like Shaquir or
Oh God.
Dyshendra.
Oh, you're killing me. He's baiting me into doing my racist tirades. I'm not falling for this. I'm improved now, guys. I am working towards becoming a better man. That's not happening. I'm still gonna be the same me as always. I will say this. If you've not been very happy with the MCU's quality of, let's say, cinematic movies, barring the insert one you probably like, which is between No Way Home, Deadpool 3, and like Guardians 3, this is.
I mean,
how would I
people
explain
like
it?
Spider-Man. I know you didn't, but when I watched it, I liked it.
Which
But
one?
The last one.
I like the last one.
Oh, well, see, you always talk about how terrible it is and how
the
many
second
holes
one
there
is.
are.
The second one is bad.
No,
I'll
you
never
always
watch
talk
Spider-Man.
about you have talked about Far From Home or No Way
Yes.
Home. No, sorry, No Way Home. And the whole Doctor Strange thing and the whole
There's
memory
a
thing
few
and the whole
stupid things with it that I didn't like.
Yes,
but
I
overall I
understand, but
enjoyed it a lot.
oh, see, but the way you make it out to be all the time is that it sucks.
What are you talking
But listen, I agree. Listen, hold on. I actually agree with the points that you think are stupid. But when I was as I was watching it in the theater, I had a fun time. But that's one of those movies when you look back on, you're like, wait a minute, dude, that doesn't even make any sense.
No,
Like,
it's weird. My brain
minute.
does it when I'm watching the movie, and
See,
I try to bookmark things sometimes that I'll know I have to talk about that are like big things that we're going to discuss on the show typically.
Oh,
like
that's gonna be hard for you because you can't even remember pages of comic books when you're looking at them.
See, that's the thing. Now I'm getting to be a Joe Biden age, actually. See,
I'm just bad with names. I'm really bad with names for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm still never gonna forget. Like today, when I was on my lunch break at work, I played the Iron Man ending where he just says, "I am Iron Man," and then it goes into the fucking. I was like, man, why don't we get more drop moments like that anymore? That would be fucking amazing. Honestly, to have.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think that they were trying to make movies they were trying to make movies to bring in all audience, right? But what they really need to do is just make better movies. And I know that's such a vague thing to say, but if you look at Iron Man, right? Iron Man was not trying to grab any particular audience to bring them in. It was making an Iron Man movie. So like when you
it was like a buffet. A buffet can cater to pretty much everyone of all different
cater
sorts
to
of
the
sizes.
people that are fans of that character. And by word of mouth, when you see like big ticket sales and then commercials like Iron Man is the #1 movie and the blah blah blah, people are like, oh, I want to check that out, as opposed to what they're doing, what they've been doing recently, where you don't hear those things. You hear more about, well, we are going to have 90% female heroes, and we're going to phase out this type of person. We're going to do this to this like that. I just don't see how that helps anything.
You don't think the problem based on what you just said? And I agree.
God damn it.
I hate
Go
you.
ahead. I'm still talking.
No, I was saying I was going to add something to your point. It's like I think they give too much away. Like I think they give too many interviews, and it causes people to just go batshit insane based off what these guys are saying. Because like you could have one executive say one thing, an actor say one thing, then another producer on one movie say another thing. It's like I think they're giving out way too many interviews and too much fucking, stuff to the
I
press, honestly.
okay, so I think it's a little bit that might be true, but I think whenever you start trying to cater to any type of group of people to bring them in, you're starting to exclude the people that were already there. So like when you're trying to bring in such a small minority fraction of the audience, you're going to make the major audience that you already have, and we've seen it because they're not there anymore, just go out of the no. So I think that's a problem. And if you just make the movies, I don't see why uh anybody of any type of anything would not want to see Iron Man. Or, if you like superhero movies, you're going to go see it. What does it matter if the metal on Iron Man was made in a non-sweatshop trans related whatever? It doesn't matter.
Or you
That
could have the
doesn't matter.
other thing where, I don't care for Zack Snyder at all, as you guys have heard me talk about that guy. But the thing that I do somewhat admire about some of these movies that'll come out is that you could have a person who has never been a fan become a fan because of the movie. Like, you have a ton of people that do say, and I don't know how this is possible, they say, hey, I didn't like Superman before, but Zack Snyder's version got me into liking Superman. And you know what? I think Man of Steel was good at all. But if that is what got you into liking, yeah, but if that is what got you into liking Superman, I really can't fault you.
I know a person that I'm very good friends with.
He's a diehard Man of Steel fan, isn't he?
He doesn't look at like stuff like other people. Like, he doesn't care that Zack Snyder made the movie. He doesn't look at like, oh, I hate what Zack Snyder's done. He probably doesn't even know who the fuck Zack Snyder is or care. And I honestly wish I was in that same boat, because I'm kind of getting tired of hearing about the directors, the actors and actresses. I'm tired of hearing their opinions on things. I'm really, really getting sick of it. I just want them to make the movie, talk about it when it's over.
About that,
This movie, no.
Yeah, no. That's crazy. We didn't really hear any. There's no real. The only real controversy it had was the Century casting, when it was supposed to be Stephen Young first, and then he had too many scheduling conflicts, probably because he was filming Invincible at the time. And Amazon, as people know what that has been, very, very slow with getting those seasons done. Like, it's so crazy. Now that I look back on it after watching the movie, he would have been a horrible Sentry. From the person that we got, person that we got was fine.
How they wrote Sentry, let's just say that.
Yeah.
For what they wrote, I don't think he would have fit what they wrote. I will say this, and people can, like I said, you can listen. If anybody wants to shit on me, that's fine. It doesn't bother me, right? It just really doesn't. You can say whatever you want to my face. I'm still going to go home and sleep like a baby every night.
He'll call his toys he has right there on his desk.
I think I look at this movie kind of like the way that they did Civil War, right? Civil War had, if you look at the comic book compared to the movie, vastly different, but it had a lot of the same beats and points. Were there any actual Thunderbolts in this movie? No.
But we knew that going into it.
But we already knew that going into it. Do I wish that they did? Yes. But if they introduced a whole team of new people, and like Zemo was, the leader and stuff like that, I don't know if people would have cared about it, right? And especially for what they're going into. Now, I will say this. I'm not going to get into the points of the movie until we talk about it, but I did not have as big a problem with no Thunderbolts being in the Thunderbolts movie. I looked at it as, this is the team that they made with the available people that they wanted to put in it out of the characters that they had, kind of like what they did with Civil War. Because if you look at Civil War comic and then you look at, what they did with the movie, having no Thor there is just unbelievably crazy.
They didn't even have the Thor clone, which is crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because if Thor would have been there, he could have just stopped them all. And
to be fair, the Russo brothers did say that. They did say if they included Hulk and Thor, it would have changed the tides. And you can't really disagree with them on that. But then again,
that's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I'm saying. So I understand why they made the movie the way they did. I do not like how this movie ended. I thought that this movie ended terribly. I was so pissed. I'm being dead serious. So there were two times in my movie theater, which I was surprised that there was as many people as there was there.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah, I actually had a
So,
decent turnout. Yeah.
well, because I'm living in a super small town. That's why I'm saying, like, I was surprised. The movie theater was like 3/4 full, which is like unheard of in my town. Because usually
Yeah.
out of the 200 seats they have, it's like me, some fat dude, and some guy
You're
in the
always
back.
around fat. Every time you go out,
It's
you just
it's the
around
same guy. It's the same guy every time who I see movies with. I call him Ralph. I even call it. I'm like, yo, what up, Ralph? And he'll just look at me with his glasses.
No, because remember how I told you same thing for my city. Basically, after 2019 and a few years after the pandemic, or people call it on YouTube, the movie theater scene here is not like dead, but it's like pretty much way lower in attendance. For the Thunderbolts, for the showing that I went to at like 5 o'clock, it was a little decent turnout. You had, I would say, about 15 people in there.
If I go to Pittsburgh, it's packed. Like,
oh, for sure, yeah.
And I just didn't want to go there. Like, I like that theater a little bit better because it's got the reclining seats and you got a lot of space.
You have reclining seats? Oh God!
At the Pittsburgh
not mine.
One?
Oh, no, yeah. Ours is ghetto. They don't recline at all.
One, it's got like big leather seats and you can put your feet up. It's got like where like literally the next person over is more than arm's length on each side. It's a very nice place to go see a movie.
Yeah.
But I like my theater because the screen has not changed since like the 50s. So it's huge. It's literally gigantic.
It's like one of those classic old ones where it's wide.
Yes,
yeah.
It's so big. And you pay. Today I saw the movie. I got popcorn, a drink, and a box of candy. Right?
How much did it cost for all that in your area?
$16.
Mine was 26. I got chili cheese nachos and an icy and the ticket. That was it. 26 bucks.
Yeah. I got $16.
Good Lord.
So the regular movie price, like their matinee is $5, right? But the regular, even if I would have seen it in past matinee, it's $7.
Because if you go to Pittsburgh, will you be able to see it in like
Pittsburgh?
IMAX?
Oh, yeah, but Pittsburgh tickets are like $30.
I've never really seen a movie in IMAX. I don't know what the hype is about it.
Oh, okay. Because it's huge and it's like it's amazing, and you have like the speakers are like everywhere, like all up around you and everywhere, and it's like true surround sound where you can like literally hear footsteps behind you if someone's behind someone walking, or it's like fully immersive, right? But I just like the old theater. Like if you go in there and they have like this room that's upstairs and they hold like little events there. Like they did, they had like a bunch of the Universal monster movies. So they had like the sons and daughters of people that played those characters that came. They did autograph signings and they brought like they did like the Wolfman, right? So Lon Chaney Jr.'s grandson or something, whatever. He brought like some of the original makeup with him and showed like the prosthetic hands that he used for the Wolfman. And like they do stuff like that. Like Kevin Smith has gone there a bunch. He loves that theater because he can show whatever stupid crap he's working on. You know, like they did the He-Man premiere there. Like they do stuff like that. So I do like that because in the off season, they'll show stuff. Like Halloween is really cool around here because I'll go see. They did some of the Hammer movies, like the Dracula with Christopher Lee, and they did Frankenstein and stuff like that, which are awesome. I love those movies. So I do like that aspect of it. And this was a fun time, I will say. So you want to just get into the movie so we could just talk about this now?
Yeah, I will say this for people. If you were kind of concerned that this would be one of those movies that you would need to wait for streaming for, I mean, I will say this. I'd rather go to the theaters and watch this than Captain America 4. I'll just tell you that.
That's true. I think Kevin Davis, that makes sense.
Kevin, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in forever, man. How you doing, dude?
So yeah, turned off, but yeah, I mean, I can agree, and they do touch on that in the after the credits scene. They do touch on that a little bit, so we'll get into it. So do your flapping intro and all this.
Last thing we need to go over is that I know there might be, because as with that one random guy that gave me the 5-paragraph essay, this might be someone's first time watching the episode because all of you guys have an autoplay on YouTube where something ends and it just loops to random.
You should just
shit.
Put a thing that goes spoiler. Like,
yeah, actually, you're not lying. That'd be a good idea. The other thing to mention is generally when I'm with anyone everyone knows this, but this is just a disclaimer for anyone who doesn't know this, because you might just be new here. I like talking about movies and TV and comic books and anime and video games in the same way I would talk to like friends about if you're just sitting on a couch or you're sitting at a bar, you're just having a good time, you're discussing things you liked.
Couch, as if he has one.
I have a couch. Discussing things like, you liked, you disliked, what you think they could have did better, what you think really landed for you. Just, having a general discussion and just, I'll tell you this. I don't care if you hated something straight to your guts. I don't care if you loved it. Just, all I say, just be honest.
Just be honest about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it. So, disclaimers are all out of the way. Let's get right into it. Oh,
spoilers. Spoilers.
Or we could be Men in White. I need someone to make a meme of me and you and Men in White.
Now, just continue, please.
God, I hate you. God, your white rage and black guilt is coming out of you. And we're wearing matching shirts. Woo! This was not planned.
You're definitely not wearing matching shirts.
Damn it. I wanted to be twins.
Mine is a death metal band shirt.
I knew you were into death metal.
I've said it a bazillion times.
You weren't a screamo. Oh God, I hate you.
I don't like screamo.
Oh, thank God. That shit's trash.
I mean,
listen to a few songs, not my thing.
Musicians might be talented. I'm just not into the music.
Maybe you were a Nickelback fan.
No.
Okay, they have one good song. They have one decent banger.
I don't even, dude. I know who Nickelback is. I know that they were very popular. I could not tell you a fucking song, but when I tell people like I live in my own little world of things. Like the only time I would hear other music that I don't pick is like when I was working in restaurants and like I would hear stuff on the radio or like hear something somewhere. But like if I'm not playing it in our car, like my wife's always like, put on whatever you want, or she'll say, hey, do you mind if I listen? I tell her, you do whatever you want. Listen, but she listens to the same stuff that I do. So like, let's
get right into it, guys. Let's have some fun. Hey everyone, I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the newest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, Thunderbolts, which is the 36th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this movie ends Phase 5. And Phase 6 will begin with Fantastic Four coming out in July of 2025. Feels like just yesterday, 17 years ago, the MCU started with 2008's Iron Man. And
you were like in high school. Or probably not even.
I was in 8th grade when Iron Man dropped. I was in 8th grade. It's been forever.
So old.
I've been with this franchise through its highs and lows and the recent really low lows that it's currently at right now.
So I haven't been.
You're in a different dimension. You're in your kind of own DC universe way of pushing out your rage on me.
I've seen all but 2 movies in the theater.
That's crazy. You are old at this point.
Why is that?
So, with this movie, Thunderbolts, it's kind of like that joke in Deadpool and Wolverine, or is that one joke where it's like you're entering the MCU at a low point. I will say this. This is a movie where I think, given how both of these last 2 MCU movies are, if you wanted to just have a good experience at the theater, and you just kind of want to see Marvel at its dumb fun, at its finest, I think this would be a better dumb fun movie than Captain America 4, because Captain America 4 was trying to be some sort of like ghetto version of Winter Soldier, when it just in reality could have just did a much different story to kind of make it work. Whereas with this is kind of a movie that is basically what I said on Twitter. This is like Fast and Furious meets the MCU, like Goku and Vegeta doing a fusion dance. Like that's the way that I would characterize this movie. If you just want to have aspects of no jutsu, which is a Naruto anime reference, if you guys get that reference.
I do.
Talks of love and family and all that stuff and depression. This is literally the most, I would say this, that's what the title of this review is going to be.
You can't just say whether you liked the movie or not. You have to say all this like preamble bullshit. I'll tell you this. I had so much fun watching this movie until the last 15 minutes of the movie, and it almost ruined my entire experience. And I usually am never like that, because I'm like, how can 15 minutes ruin the other 2 hours of whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I'm never like that, but for some reason this stuck in me so bad, and I was just like, you're literally trying to pigeonhole past like so many things that we have questions about.
Yeah.
You're just trying to do it, and it bothers me. And then I when you watch the end credit scene after the credits, I was just like, everything that people shit on DC for, they literally did at the end of this movie. They literally did at the end of this movie, and people are going to defend it, and they're going to, you know, say, well, how else are they supposed to do? And I'm just like, you know what? This is ultimately stupid, but I understand the decision. I totally get it, because now that it's out there, right?
Yes.
People are going to get past it, and how do they work from there? Where did
Yeah.
the other characters fit into this? So I get it. I had fun. I thought that it was, I don't know much about Century. I actually went and on Marvel.com and looked at his bibliography. I'm dead serious. I went and
Literally what I would do too.
I went on eBay after that and ordered as much as I could. I got his origin story with Jay Lee and can't remember the writer, but I got that trade, and I got a bunch of other stuff coming so I can learn a little bit more, because I don't know, like I said, I've said so many times, I don't know nearly as much about Marvel as I do DC.
Really? You don't know much about Marvel? I can swear your background is full of Marvel omnibuses and everything.
Yeah, but they're like full collections. Like that is all Spider-Man.
Oh no, I was joking. Most of your collection is literally just DC stuff.
I know, but like the stuff that's Marvel is like full, like up top is this side's Marvel. And
yeah, you kind of do the same thing that I do with Marvel. Like with Marvel, to get like the big collected edition stuff, you get like the characters you really like, but for DC, you just get like more things.
Like this is like Hickman's Fantastic Four, Hickman's Avengers, then Hickman's X-Men.
It's just Hickman everything.
Oh well, then there's the Chris Claremont X-Men run, and then I have the other books down here. I don't have all of his yet. There's like two more Omnis that I need to get.
So the reason why I called this a Fast and Furious movie.
Did you like the movie? Yes or no?
So,
oh my God.
Can I give my analogies? Can I
just
have
Can
fun?
you just say whether you like the movie or not?
Okay,
yes or no?
I'll just say that.
Then I liked this movie.
After I say that, can I get into my analogy, Dad?
Can you just say whether you liked it or not? You never say whether you like a movie or not.
I would say this movie is actually pretty enjoyable, I would say. Now, I will say this. The reason why I called
I've been with you 3 times this week, and I'm serious. My head is about to literally like melt off my face, like in freaking Raiders of the Lost Ark. Do you like it? Yes or no? Not this was enjoyable. Yes or no?
I will say this.
Yes or no?
I will say this. I had a good time watching it, but I did have my flaws with the movie. Now, the reason why I called it that is because if the MCU was going to go in this direction with their movies, I will say this. I'd rather them do what this movie did in a more popcorn movie than what they were doing previously, which is like they were literally writing stories that were not just bad. Those were pretty awful, right? But with this movie, it's literally the embodiment of, go to the theaters, turn your brain off. These are familiar faces. If you've already watched the shows or if you watched any of the movies these characters have been in, and you have a good time. And I think that is a step in the right direction, which is people have criticized the MCU for like, hey, I go to these movies and I'm just not having a good time. I'm pretty sure you guys weren't happy with like goats yelling in Thor. I'm pretty sure you guys just hated that. But this movie, if you are like a popcorn movie watcher, this is the movie for you. I'm not lying. You'll have a great time with it. It is decently enjoyable, but therein comes my flaws. And this is one of the few flaws I had with it.
I'm glad that you don't know how to talk right, because you just literally said therein lies my flaws. Exactly. Your flaws in how you're critiquing this movie.
Yes. That's what I implied.
You like the movie.
I said it was enjoyable.
That doesn't say whether you like it, yes or no.
I mean, if you're asking me overall, yeah.
Okay. Why was that so hard to say? Why?
Why are you white raging?
Because I asked like 17 times, do you like the movie? Yes or no? And you're like this. Well, let me tell you some things. That,
yes, here. I would like to explain how I came to my conclusions.
Afterwards. You could say, yes, I liked it. Here's why.
Good Lord. Can I explain how I came to my conclusions, please, sir?
You can do that after you answer the question that I asked.
But since you're the overall guest on the review, I'll ask you, we'll start it here. Okay. What did you like about the movie overall? Like the number one takeaway you had from it? Like something that you went like, okay, this is really, really cool. I think the MCU should keep doing more of this.
Well, okay. So I thought that what they did really well in this movie was take characters that we knew very little about.
Yeah.
We knew from other characters and we got to know them personally, mostly Yelena. This was definitely a Yelena movie, right?
Yeah.
But even with Ghost, as much as she was only just there, we kind of got like she was basically a test subject in a lab. She's never really been out of there, you know, like, and the reason why she's been raging at the earth is because she doesn't really know how to be a person. She just doesn't. She doesn't know what to do. And everybody that she's had encounters with have been shitty to her. So she's had to figure out like how to do that. And plus, if you live inside of a suit that you can't really take off ever because it holds your molecules together, what else can you go into other than like being a villain or being, you know, a hero? Yep. And she's already done bad things because they used her for bad stuff. So, you know, it makes sense. Now, I liked that it was a team. It was definitely a team movie and they did team stuff. You saw them turn the tide. They saved people. They actually saved people in this movie where I was like, oh, wow, they didn't just say, okay, we're good guys now. They fought it. They fought that entire thing where they didn't think they were good enough. And whenever Sentry started doing his thing, well, the Void Sentry started doing his thing, they were saving people. They jumped into action and just did it. And that's usually how you become a hero. It's you just do things. It's just in you to do them. They didn't have to be told, go over there and save this person. Go over here and do this. They just did it because they felt that's what needed done. And I will agree with Z. I thought the Taskmaster part was...
Yeah, let's get into that.
We'll get into it, but there's one thing.
Yeah.
So when I got into the theater, right? Like I said, it was packed for my theater.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 people sitting near me that would not shut up. Like I'm dead. This woman's voice was like a knife in my ears.
Did you get up and move? Usually when that happens, I just get up and move.
I couldn't. There was so packed, right?
Shit.
But hold on, just wait. Mm-hmm. There was 2 times that there was clapping and cheering in my theater. One was when Bucky showed up on the bike because everybody's like, "Oh, that was cool," right?
Yeah.
The second time was I just went, "Shut up!"
And this man says he doesn't have white rage.
I never said I don't have white rage. I said that there's times when you say I'm white raging when it doesn't happen. I will guarantee you, yes. If you rewind the video like 7 minutes, I was definitely white raging because I was asking you, do you like this movie? Yes or no? And you're so like on the fence of being definitive with your answer that you wouldn't even say yes or no. I said, do you like the movie? Let me tell you some things about stuff. It's like the most vague,
because that's how people do things.
Stuff.
People give reasons for their actual logic. That's crazy.
But you could say yes first, and here are did I do that? I said, yes, I like this movie. I did not like the end. The end almost ruined it for me, right? The last 20 minutes of this movie almost ruined it for me. And here are the reasons why I liked it.
Oh, good Lord.
But you live in that Friday Night Tights thing that I talk about. You live in that little echo chamber of, I can't be definitive with an answer because if I do, then people are going to hold me to it.
I like to give clearance on my answer.
You can do that after you say whether you like it or not. I did.
I would hope people could come to the conclusion that I liked it based off how I'm going to give my answer. I hope that people are smart enough for that. So I'll go into something here because we're going to cover all the bases for the review. If you guys are watching the replay, don't pay attention to this crazy man trying to pass as entertaining. He's a cloud chaser. But if you actually
want to chase anything,
if you guys want to go, if you guys want to go and subscribe to Laps's channel, it's going to be in the link in the description box below. But let's really get into it. So. Outside of
I just like giving you shit, dude, because I've been on here 3 times this week.
So outside of this being a popcorn movie, what did I not like about it? So I'll go into what I didn't like. So what I really didn't like was the story is really just not there. Like certain things were
Why?
happening.
I
So
thought
like
the story was perfectly there.
so there was things that would happen, and then they would just stop, and then it would cut to another part they're playing up, and then that part they would make it seem important. That part would never get referenced again. Then it would go to
Like
something
what?
completely different.
Like
So
what?
the stuff about the lady who was passing off, who did the
Valentina?
century, Valentina. Yeah. So the first part of the movie, it's okay, we're trying to put this lady away.
They
And
talked about it through the whole
yes,
movie.
yes. Then they had the party, and then and then Bucky gave the black guy. He's like, okay, we can finally get her. Then her secretary is like, okay, we can finally get her.
All
then
spaced out through the movie.
it was mostly in the second act.
No, because if you remember, they called a secondary thing when Sentry already turned into the Void, and the black dude was like, this is going to be a little bit more than impeachment. This is going to be about a prison cell. They talked about it through the whole movie.
And then I remember there's a part in the movie where the press talks to him, and then that kind of just gets kind of discarded most of the movie. Like, I'll be honest here, guys, there's no real actual story here. There just really isn't. I didn't really take away that there's a story here.
There's definitely a story. Is it about redemption? It is literally a redemption story. What are you talking about?
It's mostly like character motivations, though, right?
Dude, it is a story about people who are lost in their life. Literally every single person.
That's pretty linear.
It doesn't have to be fucking Socrates and Shakespeare.
I'm just saying that's
superheroes.
But that's what it is, though. I'm saying it's pretty linear overall. I'm saying there's no real.
You say that in a bad way. You say that as if it's bad. This didn't need to be something that was so mind consuming. You sit there and go, you praise it for being a popcorn movie, but then you go, this didn't have a story.
That's true. It didn't.
That's what a popcorn movie is.
Yeah. Is that wrong? That's not a wrong assessment, is it? So who are the okay? So I didn't mind. So the main character of the movie obviously is Yelena, who's the Black Widow's sister. So what I did enjoy that they did with her character, because the MCU has been criticized a lot for not giving characters actual development anymore, past like insert movie they appear. They actually give Yelena quite a bit of character development. Also, they did something in this movie that I also enjoyed that they did was I've always said this, movies need to do this more. It's like when a character says something, how about like expand on it rather than just, kind of show, not tell. This movie did a lot of showing and telling, which was good. As people know from Yelena and Black Widow's past, they have very fucked up ways of looking at the world because they were trained to be, serial killers. And then years and years go by, they did so much. Oh, Yelena, just in particular, she's the main character of the movie. She did so many of these missions that it actually is weighing in her brain about how much guilt she actually has. So, like throughout the movie,
a story,
more like a character arc than a story. But I digress.
What do you think a character arc is?
So, like in the movie, she's literally conflicted. Like, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't really have a life anymore.
That's her story.
Yes. So after that, you kind of get into this point where she's super depressed kind of throughout the movie. She doesn't really know, like, okay, do I still want to be in this? But then again, through the characters also else in the movie, it kind of boils into,
you are so trying to not say their story. You
are really not.
You are word salading left and right, dude.
Good Lord, I hate this man. Okay,
come on, dude.
The other part,
deep story? No, not at all. It was not. But was there story there? Yes, dude. Yes, there was. This was literally a story about redemption. About redemption.
It's about
family.
All
these people who were lost in their life.
Yeah.
Right. They were lost in their life, and they were brought together under terrible circumstances. They were all there to kill each other. They all got tricked. But if you look at it when they were there, right, all of them thought that they were the important one. Now it took, Walker a little bit longer to realize that he wasn't.
His character development throughout when he first started came to here was really good. First character development, actually.
Yes. I thought it was good. So, so like I thought that they did very like good with each individual, except for Ghost. Like I said, they didn't really do much with her.
Yeah,
They just
we might
didn't.
as well just cover her right now. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't really. She could have just not been here. I don't really care, honestly, if she was
They just
here.
didn't do enough with her like they did the others. Which sucks because I thought they did the other ones good.
Unless you specifically count them doing enough with her already in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Right.
You're right.
So like,
I agree with you on that.
Yeah. So like, I guess
let's talk about this first.
Also, since we're on Ghost, I want to make sure I cover these things first, because this is stuff we already said going in. So for anyone that's listening and watching this, everything we said came true. So I'll start with point one. Point one, Taskmaster dying. We all kind of knew that. She dies in like 5 minutes in the first act. She's dead. Okay.
She got one good hit in and then got smacked around. And then when they all started kind of realizing what's up, Ghost was like, hold on a second.
Yeah. The Taskmaster from Black Widow is dead.
And how little was that Taskmaster compared to the Taskmaster with a codpiece? If you put both of them together, dude, one's like this tall and the other one's like this tall.
Also, the second point, which is, I know a lot of us were concerned that, they would have to dumb down Sentry to fight them. No, I think this movie in particular has some of the best power scaling for the MCU to show that there is a massive difference between you're a fucking super soldier / human versus I'm a super powered person.
Whenever he first let out his Sentry powers, right? Like, you saw him do stuff like he didn't know what he was doing. But then when he was fully realized what he was doing, he could have wrecked them all. Like, he wrecked them. But even before that, whenever he went up into the sky and was like, whoa, I can do this. Like, I can do these things. Yeah. And I agree. Like I said, I just didn't like how they ended the movie. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's actually the third point.
The ending was so fumbled, because I'm being honest, guys. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if you think I'm a fucking asshole or idiot.
Well,
I was enjoying myself watching this movie. I get it. They're not the real Thunderbolts from the comics. I understand all the points that people are going to make against this movie. It's like, dude, am I saying that they should have had certain characters throughout the MCU, more of them? 100%. Yes. They should have had other characters. Should they have done things going, we need to be able to do this because we're going to make a Thunderbolts movie in 15 years? I don't know. Okay.
Well, given what we're going to spoil, that's going to be on the cards later on. Maybe
it's a little bit, it's a little bit in the,
yes.
It's a little bit in there. And as Orange Avenger says, does the Sentry waste his wife? If not 1 out of 10? Well, dude, I mean, we only see him for a very small amount of time as the Sentry. So he didn't get time to, be married or see his wife. Yeah. So, I mean, in the context of the actual movie, I thought they did fine. And like I said, in the context of comic books, it's everything that the MCU has already done already. So why would you be expecting a faithful adaptation?
So like, I'm not on the second point that I brought up.
That doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that they don't do that. And that's why, like I've said for years, people complain about the same fucking shit all the time. And I'm like, dude, they haven't been doing this for how long? How long have they not been faithful to things? Forever. You're either going to watch the movie for what you see it, or you're going to go there just to hate watch, which is fine. If that's what you want to do with your time and stuff, that's fine. Like, I go to movies hoping to like them. Now, do most of the Marvel movies that I've seen lately I end up hating? 100%, because they suck as movies. They suck as movies.
Yeah. So when I went over the second point, the reason I was going to talk about the power scaling is because before the Void personality he has comes out, there is clearly a scene where they all try fighting him, and it's very clearly made directly possible to your eyes, unless you're just blind. He is way stronger than them. And also in the first part of the movie, because people would say like the girl would get the overdone on the guy. No, when Yelena was fighting US Agent, it was very clearly shown he was stronger because of super soldier serum. So I did like that they didn't just, like the girls are going to be stronger than the guys because fucking plot armor. Like, no, they're very clearly weaker. And I like the movie showed that. And the third thing we'll get into, as the third major point you guys were right about. All of us were right about this. So the reason why I referenced that talk no jutsu stuff earlier in the review is because that is exactly how they defeated the villain. And to be fair, let's be honest here, we all kind of thought they were going to do that. They're going to appeal to his emotion because they can't physically beat him.
They fucking Care Bear stared him, dude. It was like the Get Along Gang. It was so stupid. I'm sorry.
That's why I said it was.
I don't care.
That's why I brought up the whole Dominic Toretto thing. Oh, we're just family. We can get over this.
So dumb, dude. And I think the reason why I thought, like, if it would have just come out of nowhere, right? The way that they did the Void, like her memories and stuff, like if they would have gone into like something that he says, right? If they would have done like gone into like where they showed his dad, you know, beating on his mom and then him getting in the way, trying to protect his mom, but his mom ends up turning on him, says, "You always make this worse." You know what I'm saying? Like, that would have made more sense to me, appealing to him as a younger person and going through his memories where he said, because, you know, each of these rooms is much worse. Appealing to that person going through all the way up to where he was in the room with the Void. So then it wouldn't have just been, hurry up, we got to get to him and give him a hug. That's how we end the movie. Ha ha! That was so stupid.
But we all said that was probably going to... We all said that was
I know we talked yes, and we talked about this too, because if you remember, like whenever we
and it was pretty apparent based off the scenes before that they weren't going to beat this guy physically.
No, there was no, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's just how it happened. It was a build up to nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to if they would have went through the rooms like he set up. Each room here, I got a cool room. It's fine. Each room is worse. Right. If they would have went into those rooms and appealed to him as a younger age, through the ages, seeing all the stuff that he went through, then to give him that hug and kisses and we're team.
That's why I talked about the story, because if the story is Sentry is supposed to be this guy we're supposed to feel bad for, then I want to really know what his backstory was, because in the movie, right, in the movie, guys, Bob can just touch people and he can basically launch them to a memory they locked away in their brains that they feel very bad about. So Yelena's was leading that little girl, U.S. Agents was not being there for his kid, and so he never did it for Ghost.
It's more that whenever they had found him, he was lost and in a dark place. So whenever he did get into their psyche, that's what that was portraying onto them. It was like the worst of the worst. That's, you know, I'm sure like if he was happy and, you know, in a good place, they would have went to a good memory or something. But yes, it's more the Void. That's what they were trying to get along. And I didn't have a problem with any of that. It was just the ending. It just came out of nowhere. There was no build up to it. I want
to say, when they're in there, you know how it's just Yelena going through her horrible memories and stuff. I would have liked it if they had kind of tapped into the other horrible memories of the other characters. It felt like we never got that either.
They only did the one, and then they did a couple of Yelenas though. Whenever they were running through, now whenever they were at the end running through a bunch of them, you had to pick and be like, okay, that was Yelena's. Okay, that was Walker's. Okay,
Bucky said, "Hey, I already got a horrible past. No need to relive that." That was funny.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny. And to be fair, we already know how bad he feels about whatever he's did. So that's not.
It's just stupid though that like he's a congressman. It's really stupid.
That's what, and then it just gets thrown away as the movie
No, not really. He doesn't. We don't know if it does. We don't know.
Yeah.
They just she's mentioned, like, you know, because she thought that she had them beat, that it was only going to be so long of a term. We don't know. We don't know.
True.
Now, can we assume that he's done because of the post-credit scene? Yes. We can assume that, probably.
Okay, so I know a lot of people didn't like the lady who was the leader of the Thunderbolts. I didn't mind her. I don't really have a problem with her. I've seen that kind of character in many movies. It's a character that you know what you're going to get with that kind of character. The way she literally acts as her charter.
Are you talking about the bad guy?
Valentina.
Well, I mean, she's been in so many of the movies.
So telegraphed.
Like that's how, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what people want. Like,
the only characters I didn't personally care for were her secretary and Ghost. I thought they were just...
the secretary I didn't mind. I didn't care because she was just there to show you how off the rails she was getting, to the point where someone who was faithful to her was willing to be like, yo, this is messed up. Like, this is not good.
Yeah.
And that's why it didn't bother me. I could understand, like, if you go in and say you didn't like her acting, I get it. But like, she was such a non-integral part of the movie that
like if they replaced Ghost with any other female bad villain in the past, we'd just be like, all right, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I wish they would have done more. I wish they would have done more with her.
But I understand the point of view, because I guess if they're thinking you got this far into the MCU, you have watched the second Ant-Man movie to see her backstory already. But it's like, I thought by the end of that movie, she became a different person. She was going to have this redemption arc from that movie, because she was a misunderstood, tragic villain in that movie. But it turns out, no, she just went back to killing people.
Well, I think we don't know if that's what she ended up doing. We know that she was hired by Valentina. Yes.
Yeah.
So we can assume that she was doing the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, these people were all lost in their life, and they've never had the one person who did have someone, she died, and Walker threw his away because he couldn't get over the fact that he couldn't stay Captain America. He was obsessed with being Captain America and lost his family over it. And you could tell he was ashamed of it, because remember, he didn't tell them that. He said, when he thought that they were the ones there,
he tried to give them that portrayal that he had it all together.
Perception that he still had his family.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later that they said, that's why you're. Do
you remember the part, like, people in my audience, we didn't really laugh at the jokes too much, but there was one part toward the very end of the movie, like the beginning of Act 3, where where they broke up the team, and Yelena's like, Walker, you're nothing, because like you didn't take care of your son and your wife left you. Half the guys in the theater went, damn, fuck, like.
Oh yeah, when she was like going off on everybody.
Oh my god!
And Walker was like, "Is it my turn?" She was like, "Yeah, everybody already knows you're a piece of shit." Like, yeah, that was good.
That's what I feel like. This movie leans into a lot of the good MCU strengths that people no one love. But then again, as you mentioned, with the stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about. Let me just talk about this, because I gotta get so the end of like I said, I thought that while I was watching this, I was waiting like through the whole movie. Like, I'm like, okay, so when does this turn MCU phase 5 or whatever phase, right? When does this turn so stupid? And I was surprised that, like, I liked most of this movie. I was surprised. So I was enjoying myself. Then they get to the end. Okay. So they're in the void, and Yelena walks in there because she has this connection with Bob, right? And she's learning that the light in her heart, as her dad said, is there because she has people now. Whether or not they're good people, she has people, the Thunderbolts. And he's telling her, like, for a long time you had been in a dark place, and now you're starting to come out of it. So she went in there to the void to go get Bob, basically. So she ends up finding him and talking to him, and he's like, this isn't me. This is, this is the void, basically, because they had this discussion about, what do you do with that such dark depression inside of you? How do you get over it? And Yelena didn't know at the beginning of the movie. She's like, you just push it down. That's all you do. You just keep pushing it down. And obviously that's not the way to deal with your problems. So they're talking and all this stuff, and the rest of the Thunderbolts come into the void too. So they sacrifice themselves without knowing if they could come back. So people start realizing, like, oh, they're trying to turn the tide here. They're getting over their self-deprecation. So Bob has to get over it, right? So they go into this room, and there's the void sitting there. It's like just a all black version of Bob, right? He's like sitting there. So he starts kicking everyone's ass, and Bob starts kicking the void's ass. And then they all realize, like, oh no, that's what the void wants. He wants you to get angry. He wants you to be violent. No. And you could see it coming. I saw it coming a mile away, and I'm like, no, don't, please don't. And they're Yelena's ripping out of her bonds, and she's running and parkouring to the and just, don't worry, I'm here. I got you. And then the rest of them, the rest of them join in.
I don't understand Red Guardian doing that. That's a big level guy.
I can understand him doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big old teddy bear.
The rest of them, they win with the power of friendship.
We knew that was going to happen, though.
I don't care if I knew it was going to happen. It was stupid.
Hey,
Listen, just
Yeah.
because I know some dude took a crap in the street doesn't mean that taking a crap in the street is
this
a good
the same
idea.
thing that I criticized Naruto for in Shippuden when Naruto was like, Obito, I know you started a war and killed millions of people. Obito, I know you're a horrible person, but you're good underneath. That's the same thing.
Stop with your League of Legends and anime references to movies. They just stop.
I have a 200 IQ. I like to express that.
Okay, and you also live in the void world where that 200 IQ is really big and
like this is what I'm saying. So
hold on, I wasn't good.
No. Oh, you weren't done? I didn't know.
No, that's not the end of the movie, is it?
Sure, keep going. Do you want to raise?
So that you have to pay me first to get her.
Black people have no money, as you explain in the review.
So then they see Valentina, right? After they get out of the void and everybody turns back to normal and they're just, all this stuff. Yip whoopity doo. Everybody's saved. There's no consequences. And they see her. Now, earlier she had called for the press to be there because she wanted people to see Sentry. But Sentry turned on her. And, she's like, fuck. So they end up showing up and the Thunderbolts end up winning, blah, 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 right? And she's standing, like when the military cords off a place, they use like metal piping and a bunch of tarps stuff. She's standing in front of one. She's like kind of trying to get away from them, right? And she's like, and they're following her. Well, behind the wall was the press, and she's already got a podium and everything and a microphone. And they come through and they're like, oh, what the hell? There's press here. And she goes, now, I want to show you what I've been working on for a long time. When the Earth needs heroes, and we haven't had any for a long time, I want to introduce you to the new Avengers. What?
The only thing that I could say to that
is,
remember in Captain America 4, Steve was like, we need to rebuild the Avengers? That's the only thing
he didn't say that. That was the president.
Yeah. I mean, there's no other way I could reason why they did it.
Of course they were going to do it, but that's so like. And then instead of like saying anything bad about her, Yelena just walks up to her and goes, we own you.
We own you.
Like, what the fuck?
That's why I said the movie does.
Front door.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier. That's the
only part. That's the only part that lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is the only part that goes against itself. The rest of it was self-actualized and made sense. But that did not make any sense.
That's why it said, like, the movie has a rather, you would say linear plot. Fine. We'll go with linear plot. A linear-ish plot where certain things happen and you get to a point where you're like, okay, let me see kind of like, you want to see that Valentina bitch get the shit kicked out of her.
Well, I knew it wasn't going to happen that bad, but I thought like she'd at least get some sort of comeuppance. And even like the only thing she got was freaking Sentry had her by the throat. That was like literally it. There needs to be more. Yeah, of course. She's a psychopath. There needed to be a little bit more than just that. Even if the end result was still going to be
what we knew.
You're the new Avengers. Woohoo!
Yeah. So for anyone who has seen the marketing, that asterisk on the Thunderbolts, basically that is the code name. So they're actually the new Avengers. So your new Avengers, because remember the criticism going into Doomsday was who was going to be the
Avengers. Now, good.
No, I'm saying that's the reason why this movie is. That's why I said earlier, it's a turn off your brain movie. It has to be. Because if you applied the logic the way you did, it would actually rank way lower. Now,
just the ending. Yeah, just the ending.
Yeah. That's why I said if you kind of take it as just I'm gonna have fun with this popcorn movie, you're gonna have a good time. But if you apply the same logic you did, it would go down because the
look who you're talking to. I am the ultimate go into a movie and enjoy it for what it is.
And then you still had the problems like you said in the third act.
I said it from the beginning. Do I enjoy this movie? Yes. What did I say? From the beginning, from the first moment, except for the end of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm putting logic to it. It went against itself. Everything else in the movie was not leading up to this point.
That's the same thing that I've criticized with many movies in the past too. It's like, if you're going to give me this, then I expect this. as much as the suspension of disbelief's there, I'll accept that. But when a movie directly kind of goes against what it's already established, that's when I have the problem. I'm not.
I don't understand how one, city saving thing promotes you to Avengers, like, and I look, that's fine. We're gonna have them as Avengers,
the
right?
first part of the movie. Remember how they had to have that Congress meeting? The narrative I gather from it was the fact that the world has a void, that there's no team to save them, or that there's no Avengers around. So like,
no, she just said that. She said,
yeah,
Valentina said that because she was trying to excuse the things that she was being accused of.
I don't disagree with that. What I'm saying is, like, throughout the first part of the movie, she established she's very good at manipulating the media. And then, like, the black guy, when he's talking to Bucky, he's like, okay, we can finally get her. Then he doesn't get her when he knows he can. And then we just don't hear about that.
He didn't know he can. He needed Bucky. That was the whole thing. He needed him to do that. And he would have done, he would have done that because he was like, no, we're going to get, that's when they were walking towards it. But when they opened up the little flap and that happened, that's all we got to see. We didn't get to see whether Bucky said, and he didn't, because of the end credits scene.
Throughout the movie is Bucky wants to take her down. That was his mission. That was the only mission. Yes. Yeah. And then throughout the end of the movie, it's like, you can do it. You know everything now. It's over. There's no, like...
Yeah, you can do that and still be the new Avengers. Just because someone says you're the new Avengers, why does that...
I'll even say this. For someone like you, you usually go into movies basically turning off your brain. Even you...
No, I go into movies saying, I want to enjoy this. That's what I do. Yeah. But I still think about what's there. As long as it's set within the parameters of what they've established, I don't have a problem with a lot of things that happen. And it's very hard when something as simple going as a redemption story goes to not just being redeemed, but now you're on a fucking pedestal, like you've won the Olympics, or that's crazy to me.
The reason why I made the Fast and Furious movie reference is because that's what their movies do. Their movies do this, every single one of them, where literally, like, okay, so you remember Fast and Furious 5? They stole that Bolt at... Oh,
I don't remember Fast and Furious.
What's the dumbest movie you can think of? Like the dumbest movie series? Dude, like Transformers, right? Did you see those Michael Bay Transformer movies?
I saw 2 of them.
So, in those movies, they come up with the most absolute dumbest logic to make their plots work. That's kind of what this movie does to a certain extent.
To me, it's already like giant robots that, talk to Shia LaBeouf. That's already stupid enough for me. So everything passes.
For anyone that has seen movies of this nature, in those movies, I'll make one quick one. People that are criminals, straight up, I did very bad things. In Fast and Furious 6, when they beat the main villain, The Rock goes, "We've wiped your records clean." And it's like, you can just wipe people's records clean that were literally considered international criminals. That's why I said, if you turn off your brain...
They already did that with Bucky being a freaking... That's not against...
But you said earlier, that was established. That was
established. So that's not what my problem is.
Yeah.
My problem is their redemption. Their redemption was going from... I am so lonely and so nothing. Now we finally have people. There is no establishment of what comes next. They're already Avengers. And what we know about the Avengers is what we've seen from the movies. So they're already put into that arc of people. That's not redemption to me. That's what
I was bringing up. So, or I'll use
not wiping your record clean. That's
I'll give another similar one.
And then promoting yourself to president.
Well, it was they wiped their records clean and now they're just kind of regular civilians, and it's like,
no, they're not. They're Avengers.
No, also a different movie. But we'll use BVS and Justice League, for example. Remember in the Joss Whedon's Justice League where Ben Affleck's Batman is like, well, Superman's a beacon of hope and all this stuff. Didn't you just try to put a spear through that guy and like checks notes 6 months ago? He literally was going to murder that guy.
But I don't. If you look at it from, and I'm sorry, but I do understand what you're saying, but I will fight that because like all he saw of Superman before he got to even talk or know him was his city being destroyed and his building being destroyed and his partner being destroyed.
BVS, he literally is about to spear
I
this guy to
understand
death,
that.
right?
I
And
get
then
it.
but that turn you were talking about earlier, then it's just like a 5-second turn, and he's like, "Hey, we're now friends." What in the world constitutes
Well,
that?
we don't know. Not necessarily. They fight that
They
terrible,
fight straight
terrible
after, right?
doomsday, but then we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know how much
No, but
time takes place
it's the
between that
dialogue that
and
happens. It's
Justice
like
League. We
you just
don't know
now,
how much time takes place between that and
or
Justice
if you
League
just
for
want to
him
use BVS,
to
they're just that's what the same thing you had a problem with, I had a problem with. It's like
okay.
there has to be some level of like, okay, we have to kind of work our way through something, not just like, oh, hey, we're now just buddies and we just kind of fight. What the? That's not character development. That's literally just fucking, you just push the plot forward because you need the plot to go forward.
Yeah, yes.
You know, that's what this movie did at the end. They're like, okay,
It did.
there's no Avengers for Doomsday. We have to do something. Wait a minute, we could make this team the Avengers. And it's like, huh?
Well, obviously there's going to be more Avengers. There's going to be
Yes.
more people. There has to be. So we'll talk about the end credit scene. So they're sitting there and
I don't count
freaking
that first end credit scene. Fuck that.
Valentina making her base the old Avengers Tower was very
okay, so if anyone doesn't know this, they said it in the earlier movies, someone bought Stark Tower. She's the one that bought Avengers Tower, and she called it the Watchtower now. Yeah, it's not even called Avengers Tower, it's called the Watchtower.
Yeah.
But,
so they're there, right? They're avenging, right? In a post-credit scene. And they're all like talking, and they're Bob can't do his Sentry stuff because the Void, he doesn't.
The other guy will come out.
Yeah, and he's like, I did the dishes. And
why are you such a dirtbag? Why do you hate Bob so much? What did Bob do to you?
I didn't. When did I say hate Bob?
Your white rage coming out. It's okay. It's okay.
Your leaps of logic make me wonder how you get through everyday life.
I'm rich, good-looking, and successful. Seems
no, you're not.
Pretty good for me.
You live in a place that you sleep on the shelves. You have a pulley system for your.
You're believing in narratives. Okay,
I'm the one that made up that narrative of the shelves.
Well, thank you. That's goodness gracious. My friends make up my narratives and laugh at me for them.
Hey,
you
constantly call me a clout chaser, and
you're treating me like Alan from 2.5 Men.
A white rage. Who?
You're treating me like Alan from 2.5 Men. I'm Charlie. I'm the guy that gets all the ladies. I'm the guy that has the nice cars and the nice house and all the money.
So anyway,
all right. Oh, before we go with that last scene, really quick. This post-credit scene basically spoils the ending of Fantastic Four. If we're being honest here.
Well, we don't know if it's the ending or not. Is it the ending? Does it happen in the middle of the movie? We don't know.
I'm pretty sure this happens.
It's probably the ending.
Go ahead.
It probably is the ending. So, they're avenging and all this stuff, and they're in there, and they're, everybody's trying to figure out what they're doing, and they make stupid little jokes, which were fine. So there's something coming in. They get a beeping noise, and he's like, Bucky's telling Yelena what to do, and there's what did they call interdimensional craft coming in. So they said that specifically, interdimensional. So you're thinking, okay, something's coming from a different dimension. And you see this craft coming in, and they're like, what is that? Oh, it looks, and then it kind of turns and you see a 4 on it. So the Fantastic Four are coming into the MCU's world, as opposed to where they start out in their movie, which is supposedly a different dimension, different universe.
Oh, also, if you guys are watching this movie in the theater, if you want to like step outside for like a good minute or two when the credits are playing, that Marvel's been doing this with a lot of their post-credit scenes. At least, like, it started with Doctor Strange 2, where the first post-credit scene is just a gag joke that they had in the movie in general, and it's like,
which they did that in this one.
If you're gonna just give me the post-credit scene and the actual one that matters. Like, come on.
I mean, like, yeah, because they literally could have had that, like, when they were making the jump to wherever, right? And then they could have shown Red Guardian in the store afterwards, like, because he's all cleaned up and stuff.
That's
they
what
could have done it that way. That could have ended the movie and been funny, at least.
Yeah. I would say this. If you're going to do that kind of like these gag jokes that happen in the movie, but you're going to use them as post-credit scenes, do that as the end. I don't care to see that right after I watched the movie because that's like I know the joke. I know what it's gonna lead to. He's gonna pretend to be a hero, and then she's gonna lead you. Because the thing with this movie is that you're not really surprised at anything because everything you guys thought is true. The power scaling worked in the favor. Ghost is dead. Not Ghost. Oh my God. Taskmaster is dead. We knew they were going to use the power of friendship to beat him because how else would they do it? And you kind of knew this movie was just going to be a setup for Doomsday.
For what's going on afterwards. Yeah. And I Orange Avenger, he says Galactus comes something Ultimate Nullifier.
Yeah.
There's supposedly that now what they say is they're supposedly drawing from the Hickman Fantastic Four some of the stuff, but putting it in a different time and space. So I don't know, like that stuff that Reed Richards has on that long chalkboard. Some people were talking about what it is and all that stuff. So I'm guessing that he makes the bridge. I'm just assuming, and that's how they start doing interdimensional travel.
Dude,
or it's an accident. They're getting out of there and it's an accident.
Did you ever? I forgot. I don't know if you ever watched The Flash.
I don't know.
But remember
no, I've never watched the Flash show.
Do you remember those movies where the character has a whiteboard and they're drawing up all these equations? That's what he's doing.
No, right. No, 100%. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's just in the Hickman one when he's building the bridge, like they show it right from the beginning, what he's been working on.
Right.
But later on, whenever you actually see the lab, there's this long ass chalkboard with some of that stuff on there. And I know that the MCU has taken a lot of ideas from Hickman. That's why they had, the Black Order and stuff. That was a Hickman
it's
deal.
Either Hickman or Mark Miller. They take all the ideas from.
So like there's a lot of them like that.
Yeah.
In that. So they either figure out interdimensional travel and don't know where they're going. Because why would you come here? Place that has all these problems. Like that's stupid. Or it's some sort of they go and they have to hit the bridge or the interdimensional travel, and that's where they end up showing up. But I agree with him. Galactus comes something Ultimate Nullifier or Ultimate. We need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So, if you're a fan of these movies, you pretty much knew they were going to lead into Fantastic
Four.
That's the new movie coming up.
The only other thing, since they brought those up in the Multiverse of Madness, and that's kind of how Battle World.
We should probably touch on this. We haven't yet. I will say this. Normally, superhero movies typically don't always give us, I guess, the most accurate stuff that you guys would say. But I will say this. When Bob was in his actual Sentry outfit, he did look very good. He looked very awesome.
So, like I said, I've only read a little bit of Sentry. Like I said, I went on his bibliography and then I ordered as much as I could. I think I ordered like $140 worth of Sentry books, just so I can read it and know what is coming.
That's crazy. He only has 3 books. He only has 3 books.
He has he's in a bunch of books. What are you talking about?
No, also collected editions. He only has like 4 collected editions, really.
I went on eBay, like I said, and I bought single books and trades. He's in a bunch of like Versus books. He's in X-Men.
Oh, no, not those. I was talking like just collected editions. There's like maybe 4 of them that I can see, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm usually never wrong. So that's how it works.
Usually very wrong.
All right. So the only real controversy this movie had going into it was Stephen Young was supposed to be Sentry, but he ended up dropping out of the role because of scheduling conflicts. Probably had to have been due to the fact that Invincible season 3, he had to obviously do voice acting for that. And as you guys know, with Amazon, Invincible has been very, very hard to get off the ground with the later seasons after season 1 because season 2 was delayed for a while. Season 3 was delayed for a while. I'll be honest here, looking at now what the Sentry character is versus, who they picked versus who they wanted. I'll be honest here. I like the guy they chose after Stephen Young. And also,
I think he fit more.
Yeah, he fit the vibe of the cast more. Stephen Young, I don't know if he fits that vibe at all. That would have been off, honestly.
I didn't mind him. It just was like whatever. It was fine. I mean, it looked like Sentry from the comics. It did.
It's weird how they dyed his hair, and he's like, "I don't like my hair dyed." It's like, what a weird thing to be concerned about. But
you got Sentry, then Sentry, the Man of Two Worlds, Sentry Legacy, Sentry Volume 2, the New Avengers, the 2004 version of the New Avengers Volume 1 and 2. And then he had a 6-pack run, a few offshoots, and then they had the limited series in 2005, which had 8 issues.
That's the one that I bought. Yeah.
And they had like a few other ones. And then there was the 2018 run that they did. They have a collected version for that. But I bought as much stuff as I could. He had a few limited series, things like that. But anyway, so I look at it like I didn't see like some of the people that have been talking about this movie. It's just, it blows my mind. Like, there's no pleasing some of these people, right? There is none. There's no pleasing them. They could have made like a great movie and they would still find faults with it. And it's like, you can waste your money all you want. And I'm not saying that just because you spent money on going to see a movie, you have to like it. Obviously, like I said, I think there's only 2 MCU movies that I didn't see in the theater. And obviously, out of the last, how many since Endgame? I know we were going to go over that. We'll have to go do that again. Yeah, no, let's look at it. And then we could say, like we did with the DC animated ones, let's just look. And so we can say yes, no, yes, no.
I could just give you them quickly.
So I don't want you to. I'd rather know exactly which ones came out.
Okay. He's just being biased.
I don't trust your 200 IQ.
I'm Shikamaru from Naruto because I know how to get the girls.
You're a black guy with Rip-a-verse hat.
Oh my god, I hate this man. So for me personally,
but you are.
So I want to. Oh my goodness, I forgot to.
Oh, you forgot.
No, because you're too much of a white rager. I'm joking, guys. It's all part of entertainment. So,
of course,
as we're gonna round off the discussion on Thunderbolts, I'll ask you this: would you tell people, hey, this is something that you should see in the theaters if you're a fan, if you have been maybe on the fence about watching MCU movies per their quality recently?
Oh, I definitely think this is better than most of the movies that they've made.
I would agree too. At least in the recent memory, yes.
This is way better than Captain America 4.
Captain Africa, Captain EBT, Captain
Stay There. This is way better than that. Okay. Go to a matinee if you can, go. But I always purport seeing movies in the theater and making up your own mind. And making up your own mind. I dislike the echo chamber very, very much. I dislike that. It makes, and I'm not saying that everybody is disingenuous. That's not what I'm saying. But when guy 1 says exactly what guy 2 says and guy 3 says, and then guy 4 has to muddle around little things and comes to the same conclusion, you have to think one of 2 things. Either it is 100% exactly what they're saying, or nothing pleases these fucking people. And that's my problem with a lot of reviewers, because they'll sit there and they'll shit on stuff like this, but then talk about how Angel is a good TV show, and you're like, fucking suck my dick. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not doing that because I'm a very straight man.
Okay, I'm not telling you to actually do that. That's a metaphor.
Oh, crazy how when you make an analogy or a metaphor, it's like, oh, I hate this man. He's gaslighting me.
No, dude, because you say stuff like, oh, fuck my wife that is a stripper, and I'm
all of my analogies. I've literally tried to tie into my actual discussion, but it's okay. It's fine. But
okay, we can ask the chat who watches your show.
Oh my goodness.
Chat, be honest.
You sound like those.
Does he make any sense?
Congressmen on CNN.
Yes.
Hey, America, how do you feel about this?
Chat.
What are you, Scott Jennings or something?
If MSK is a man of logic and sense, give me honor. A 1. If he is not, give us a 2.
All right, this guy's just being a fucking politician, but
I know I'm a gaslighting, clout chasing guy.
Your words, not mine. So
you said it.
So this is kind of where I land on it. I think if the MCU goes in this movie direction, I do think with enough buildup of these kind of movies, you can bring some of your audience back that may have left because your movies were quite literally sucking ass. If you want to go with, hey, so the story is kind of linear, but it's really fun and it's a lot of action heavy and we got a lot of cool characters, go with that. You'll get some people back. I promise you, do many movies like this one, you'll get some people back. But know this, you have to kind of go with this mindset that you're going to be taking this as an enjoyable movie with your brain turned off, because if you apply what we said here, you're going to be a little like, what the fuck? But I will say this, even if you did apply that, doesn't take away the fact that you enjoyed the movie. I myself had a good time. The character interactions were fun. You didn't get all that girl boss shit. I really enjoyed that. It was nice to see, you know? If the MCU does movies like this, you can get back on the right track. Now, what's fucked up about this movie, it's not even what it did, it's what Fantastic Four might do. If Fantastic Four fucks up their somewhat track record they started with this one, I'm about to throw my computer out the window, because
I don't have high hopes for Fantastic
the
Four.
Fantastic Four is
And
going to
the
do.
only reason why is it's just that franchise seems to be cursed for movies. And whenever I
feel the same thing too.
I could be wrong,
Mhm.
but man, when I look at Pedro Pascal, I do not think smartest man in the world.
That's what I was going to go into. This movie
But
went
I
with
could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah. This movie went with the fact that, you know, hey, it's all about family. We're going to just do big action stunts and we're going to have a good time. Fantastic Four is going to do what I said that the other MCU movies failed at. I promise you, they're going to try to write a story that is so beyond convoluted. They're going to fall over their heads, and you're going to be like, damn, that story sucks. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying I know anything. I'm just saying the fact that this movie went with the approach of, like, I don't know, bigger is better. Fantastic Four is going to go with, like, hey, let's write out this plot that goes into like 30 different points, and then point 2 goes to all these points, and then this point goes into like all of these.
It just sucks that, like, they're the first family of Marvel, and they just can't, for some reason, they just cannot get these people right. They just cannot do it.
Oh shit.
And like, and dude,
well, you're not a fan of Michael B. Jordan as Black Torque?
that I don't care about that, to be honest.
Oh shit. No, but in all seriousness, I'll tell you guys, I went and saw the movie. I took my Lamborghini. I took my wife out. We had a lot of sex after the movie.
So these are all analogies, right? The ones that make sense.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So what he means is he took the bus and he was very lonely, and afterwards he jerked off.
well, thank you for the spoilers, right? But fucking hell. Way to just spoil the whole movie, you fucking bastard.
I just
Oh my goodness.
I ruined it all for you.
Dude, there was a part that I almost laughed out loud, but people know I don't really show emotion like that in theaters generally. The part where they're having that car chase, and then she unlocks this car for some weapons, and it's just some like,
yeah.
What was that?
She goes, "Who are you driving around?"
It was driving for Diddy or something. Like, what the fuck? I actually almost couldn't hold it in. I was like, holy shit.
that was funny.
Yeah. But I'll say the jokes outside of like that one, the jokes really didn't land that much in this one. Usually you're expecting like some MCU humor, but I will say this. I think that benefited the movie. It actually had a very serious tone throughout the entire movie, for the most part.
Yeah, they had some scenes in it that were, I thought there were some jokes that were funny, but they weren't like, yeah. They didn't have the funny.
But remember, as you said earlier, the criticism. What was the criticism? It's always a joke after a joke after a joke.
Which so they didn't have that in here. They had some.
It was some.
Like the chase scene with that, and like when she takes out her gun and shoots, and the thing explodes, and she's like, "What the fuck, gun?"
Or the part where they think Bucky is about to save them, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because they're all so happy. Because that scene is kind of funny, dude. When they're shooting the freaking gun at and Walker's just like, for the love of God, someone do something.
Also, can we point out how shitty that shield? That shield always makes me laugh. That shit is for Frisbee. Who made that?
Century takes the shield, right? Because they mess up. They play about how pathetic he is for leaving his family. Century goes, he's like trying to hit him with the shield. Century just takes the shield and goes, makes it into it. They even say it's a taco shell. It's not even a shield. And
remember what happened in Falcon and Winter Soldier when that one lady bent the shield? It looked like a burnt Frisbee. I almost died of laughter. Why is that shield so trash? Buddy, U.S. agent, Marvel, get this man a real shield. You know that part of Infinity War? Get this man a shield. Get that man a real shield. Please. That shit is garbage. What's he going to do with that? It's weaker than whatever. It's mindless nurse I was going to go into. But I feel like this movie...
Read that. Read that last comment there.
What is this?
Put it up.
MSK is not the real life Captain Marvel. No,
No,
I
it said,
typically
is he
don't.
not? He said, no, it said, are you not the real Captain Marvel, where you show no emotion?
I typically don't most of the time.
Yeah,
but
he totally still had the shield in the post-credit scene. It still was totally beat up.
Yeah,
Like it was
Bucky
kind
said
of
it,
fixed.
the shitty shield. Yeah,
It was kind of fixed, but like, yeah, it was still there. Like,
God, man.
So how do you feel about this?
Okay.
In the post-credit scene, they talked about Anthony Mackie, Captain America, not being happy with this, and he even trademarked the Avengers name. Like, that's the point. Wow,
what money? It was proven in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they said that he had no money and all this stuff. It's so stupid.
Turn off your brain, popcorn.
Like, so if we're gonna get like dual Avengers and Young Avengers and Dark Avengers, this is gonna get convoluted.
This team would have to be Dark event. I'm not.
They would have to be. The funny thing is, if they redeem Walker, I would love that. That's a great character out there. Yeah, that would be fine.
But it's what you said earlier, and it's what I pointed out.
Well, I know a trademark is not that expensive, but when you're thinking of like taking someone,
he couldn't even get a loan. What a minute.
Well, trademarks are very cheap depending on who owned it last, and if it was owned, like that's the thing. Did Tony Stark trademark it, and did he insure the trademark? So when that runs out, right? Yeah, you still would have to pay against that insurance for that trademark. That's the issue. Now I know they probably just, it's a trademark that's out there and they just did it. So like I understand. So the thing that we both highlighted that I mentioned a second ago was that this movie, while being as fun as it is, if you really just turn off your brain, this movie also shows I don't think you have to turn off your brain. You could just go in there and watch it and still think like a human being. I think this movie is fine until the end. I think this movie highlights just how desperate Marvel can be, that they know how much they shit the bed leading up to this movie, but they have no Avengers team, and our new Avengers team gets revealed in a rather not earned, convoluted way, because this movie was supposed to be, hey, dude, this is the new team I'm supposed to get behind, but this is a new team of this group of characters. But then if you're just going to give them the Avengers title, it's like, what makes them Avengers? I mean, maybe Bucky is the only person that arguably deserves it, but it's like, outside of him. But even him, dude, I'm so sick of that dude. I'm sorry. The actor's fine, but like everybody sucks his nuts, and I'm just like, I love sucking his nuts. I love salty nuts. What did he do? He looks cool. Okay. Well, I think they shit the bed with this completely. Like killing off Iron Man, right? I said that for years. I've said that for years. Killing him off. Yeah. You could have not killed him off. He could have been written off. And doing what they did with Steve Rogers, you Hollywood, when dudes get typecast and they want to branch out, right, and do other things, what always fucking happens? They end up going out, not making nearly as much money as they did, having to go back to what they did. Robert Downey Jr. is goddamn Dr. Doom. He did do Oppenheimer. Okay, that's fine. But that was Christopher Nolan. He came back. That's the point. But we all knew. You knew he was coming back, though. But that's my point. That's why you don't kill off Iron Man. I said the same thing, too. I said there is no reason to kill off the fucking mate. It's literally like okay, I'll make a basketball reference since you like basketball. Yes, I agree with Z. Yes, they got rid of Kang. The pivot does make sense. I agree. It does. It completely makes sense. In which direction they're going. They pivoted hard. I just wish that the Kang thing should have never happened, in my opinion. He should have never been the next big bad guy, because like I've said, that is one character that I do know a lot about in Marvel, because I bought a lot of his stuff. And when I was looking at dates, right, I was like, what the fuck? Like this book that was this thick took 50 years of storytelling. His coming out party in Ant-Man 3. My God. His coming out party in Ant-Man 3, he's beaten by ants. He's supposed to be the next big bad of the MCU, and he gets beaten by ants. You can't convince anyone. Anyway, so what I was saying was, you have this much story in 50 years. There's not much to go on there. So, and every time that Kang would come around, it wasn't a gigantic shift in the comics. It was a gigantic shift in whoever was dealing with him at that point in time. It wasn't like this, like a Beyonder or the Beyonders. It was not like that. So it's just, it just didn't make sense to me. I just don't look at Kang as like this all powerful thing that's like Thor could come in and just fucking hammer his face into the ground. Like, so it just, I didn't look at him as that type of character.
Yes.
That is an Avengers level threat. And yes, like you said, the one Kang that was supposed to be the worst out of all of them. We saw the Council of Kangs and all the Kang. He was banished from the Council of Kangs. He was kicked out and he got relegated down to the freaking retard verse. And you know, he got beat by ants. He got carried away by a bunch of ants.
He did have sex with Wasp's mom.
Did he?
It was heavily implied.
What?
I hate you. Good Lord.
What are you talking about?
So that's why I had originally said.
It was implied that they had sex?
That's what, this is what I said a while ago. It's like if fucking, you go to watch the NBA games back in the day for Michael Jordan. It's like, well, if he's not there, then who do you watch? You need a face of the franchise. There's no face of the franchise. Like you said, RDJ, he's their Michael Jordan.
Ooh. I mean, there was so many other players that you would watch during that time.
I guess debatably in your era, right? You need a face of the league. Yeah,
you don't need. Me personally, I don't think they need a face of the NBA. I think they try to do it. They keep trying to.
Yeah,
but Michael Jordan was the face of the NBA because he wanted to win at all costs. Period. That was it. They got these guys now. They got these guys now who are so worried about their image that they're so afraid of stepping outside of that boundary.
Yep.
Like guys lose freaking playoff series and then they hug each other.
So I'll ask you, before we close out of the discussion with Thunderbolts and spoiling it, what is your final thoughts on it?
Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I had a lot of fun while I was there. Like I said, that ending for me just didn't stick. I was very upset at the ending, but we'll see where it goes from here. I dislike that kind of the Fantastic Four is kind of already kind of ruined. Kind of already know, like, even if we did know that they were going to have to get there somehow, you know, we'll see what happens and why they had to leave, I guess. But I just did not like that they just were like, all right, here's the new Avengers. I mean, if they're going to do it, I guess it's as good a thing as any. All right, now we have Avengers. Now what?
It feels so cheap and lazy.
It does. But now what? So that's the thing. It's like, we got Avengers. Now what? So I guess I'm not even worried about how it happened. I am in the moment as I saw it, but now that it's over and done with, can't do anything about it. So what are they going to do from here? And like I said, I'm not one of those guys that cares so much about the movies as I do the comics. So like, that doesn't ruin my enjoyment of characters. I'll just go read, you know? So yeah, with Bob. I thought Bob was funny. I thought like the whole intro of Bob was hilarious.
As for me, it's just the same thing that I mentioned here. You know, this is just, to me, a movie. You walk in, you take it for what it is. And if you don't do that, you're probably not going to like it. Just being honest here. This is a popcorn movie through and through, but I think that's a good thing for where the MCU is at. I think you need to have popcorn movies to show people, you can get people back to the MCU to just have dumb fun. Because that's kind of what you go to the theater for. You go to watch movies because they want to have fun. If you can provide them dumb fun, at least if we're logically thinking about how bad the story can be sometimes, at least if you say you had fun, that's good. That's all that really matters at the end of the day. You know?
Yeah, I mean, and people take comic books way too seriously. And before people tell me that it's their whole life, I mean, if you just look around me, I've been doing this for, damn, dude, it'll be almost 40 years. I've been doing this for almost 40 fucking years. Like, I get it, but I also use comic books as an escape. I use it as fun. I read these stories. I mean, I have probably I have a lot of bad issues as much as I have good issues, you know? So like, you take the good, you take the bad, and then you have the facts of life. The facts of life.
Yeah. So if you guys enjoy movies
that went
like
over
these,
your head.
If you guys enjoy movies like these, go ahead, watch it. I will say this as credit to this movie. It's also a discredit to it. It's not anything it does itself.
As credit to this movie, it's also a discredit. What in the fuck does that mean?
It shows you in the movie just how desperate Marvel is toward the very end to kind of fast track something that they completely neglected with the Avengers. It's like, damn, this is stuff that we've been asking. Like, this movie did stuff for me that I've been asking MCU movies to do for years. So I can't really fault it with that. But
yes, Orange Avenger. Yes. He got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of my final thoughts on this movie. It's a popcorn movie. Go into it, brain turned off, you'll have fun. If you turn your brain on, well, logic applies to things, and
I say this. If you turn your brain on, the last 10 minutes of the movie you won't like, but the 2 hours that came before it, even if your brain is on, you will be fine. Don't act like if your brain's on the whole time, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is so terrible, and like, come on, dude. Like, you're painting a very horrible picture here. It's not a bad movie. It's a fine movie. For the MCU, it's perfectly fine. Okay?
I mean, given what we've gotten recently, I'll take this. No more Thor: Love and Thunder. So
it's
I'm good.
A fun movie. It was a fun movie. But like
I got laid after it.
For the story purposes of the overall MCU, the end of it fell flat for me. I'll be honest, it did. But the actual movie itself, I enjoyed. The action was cool. I thought that the story was an easy story, but it was a redemption arc, and it felt fine. And they did a very good job building up Yelena, especially. You felt for Walker, and you realized why he's an asshole and why he is the way he is. And we'll see where they go from there. I wish they would have done more with Ghost. The Bucky was just, when at the end of the beginning of the Captain America 4, when they brought in Congressman Barnes, I just was like,
that's why I've been saying, like, some of the characters in the movie feel like they're just kind of like Red Guardian. He's there for comedic relief to be like the heart of the movie.
Did I say Yelena? I thought I said Yelena.
Yeah, like, but Bucky has a purpose in the movie, but it's like some things get more. Other characters have an amplified arc, and others have like an under amplified arc. But you know what? If this movie was to prove that Florence Pugh can carry an MCU movie, I think she did a rather good job of it, honestly. And they did show you that later on, when it came to like her character's life, she did feel bad about the things she did. I mean, this was reminiscent to what Black Widow had went through. Like, she felt bad for the things she did, but she had to do them because of how she was put into that organization. So, it's nice to have these kind of story threads tied up and they actually mean something later on, rather than like that hand that was in the fucking ocean for like 3 years and Marvel just didn't even bother talking about it. It's like, what are you doing? But yes, so thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're going to sign out, guys. See you guys later. Peace. Wow, you're a clout chasing fuck.
I guess so. I don't even know what that means, but
yeah, literally, I will take this over that movie every day of the week. If you strap me to a chair butt naked and you said you have to be tortured by watching Thor: Love and Thunder on loop for 24 hours, I'll have you kill me. That movie is absolute garbage. Fuck that movie.
Well, it is not good.
It's weird. Oh, yeah, because Sebastian Stan is bald and he's actually wearing a wig. I think he looks better with hair. I think bald.
I don't know, dude. Some of the wigs that are in these movies are really bad.
I think he looks better with hair. I don't know why he cuts his hair. It's so stupid.
Maybe because he likes it.
I don't know. Well, his opinion's stupid then.
Well, I don't think he goes into like getting his haircut like.
Oh, that Valkyrie, even though she's a fucking lesbian, got really horny when she saw Thor naked. Just saying. We all thought it. Also, wait a minute. Why can't U.S. Agent be Captain America? I don't get it. Why can't he be Captain America?
Because they need Falcon America.
Fucking hell. He at this point now he's had the redemption arc. Can he be? Oh, there's something that I forgot to mention in the review.
Mhm.
It's not gonna matter. It's not super big, but I did like the first part of the movie where there's that one piece of dialogue where she had said, "You killed an innocent man," and he was like, "Define innocent," because those people were terrorists actually.
Mm.
But the public is not gonna know that person was a terrorist because of the events that happened. But that was a nice, cool piece of dialogue he had for himself. He didn't get pushed around by women.
I know he neglects the kid. Did he beat his wife? I don't know. I have no idea.
That was not implied at all. It was implied that he just he didn't really take care of his kid. He might have been abusive.
That's kind of funny what he said afterwards.
Oh my god, you guys got to stop giving WZ clout here, man. You guys are just making him too powerful.
Hey, he made fun of me up there, but I mean, who cares?
You guys are gonna make him like some sort of like anti-monitor.
It doesn't, Hey, I thought it was funny.
It's all right.
It's good. It's good stuff.
I bookmarked this. All right. So yeah, I don't know how late it is for you, how long you're staying up, but I'll be here for like another 5 minutes. We'll just wrap it up. No, we had a good show this week.
If you go back to the beginning of the show, you could see me rage out on MSK for about 10 minutes.
Man, I'm sitting here thinking to the toast man, can I just give my opinion? He's like, no, your opinion is not allowed.
No,
bastard.
I asked him, do you like this movie? And instead of saying yes or no, he started going off on these things of credits and discredits and that.
I was trying to explain how I got to my opinion.
The movie, but
okay.
You didn't give the opinion. You just you.
I hate this man. He's killing me.
The movie.
I'm done. He's gaslighting me.
That's not gaslighting.
They're doing crack.
Why you gotta bring him into this?
God, fucking hell.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
God. Goodness gracious. But usually, typically, just for me, I like to give the reasons why I came to my
Typically?
I hate you.
You what?
Just say one.
Yeah, I like to talk and experience life.
Fuck me, SpongeBob!
Oh, yeah!
They're sickening. I hate people.
You have some of the most random clips that have nothing to do with anything that we're saying.
That's your brain. That's the white rage coming out of you. Oh, God.
But, I mean, you have still not let Sparkles on the show, which she could have been on the show, and you could have a third opinion. Which would have made. I'm not saying for this show particularly. I'm saying in general.
Oh, she's a woman. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. They exist.
This girl's
they exist in this world, I mean, you do like women, right?
Yes. I retired, but I do enjoy the anatomy that is women. Oh God. Oh geez. That's okay. It's all part of fun and discussion. I was trying to basically make the review as entertaining as possible, and we did a great job. I mean, I did a great job. I can't speak for you because your performance could be a lot better.
I guess so. I'm doing a performance here. This is a performance art piece.
Oh God, I never get this with you though. You always get so angry at people giving their opinions.
No, I don't get angry at people giving their opinions. I get angry whenever I talk and I get interrupted 9 million times. And then when I ask a question, someone doesn't answer the yes or no. I don't ask very in-depth questions. I ask very straight to the point, yes or no questions. So when someone doesn't give me a yes or no answer, I get pissed. I do this at work, by the way. Like if I ask my employee a yes or no question and they start giving me a diatribe, I say, hey, look, jackass, I asked you a yes or no fucking question. Answer the question. If you don't want to answer the question, just say, I can't answer that question.
No comment.
There you go.
Miss Parker's been bullying me. Oh, good Lord. I don't know what she was doing. Yes, she said she hadn't been feeling good. That's why she hasn't been around. I hope she feels better.
She was on sick. Here earlier.
Goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm so tired after work.
See how little he pays attention to you, chat? I at least pay attention to the chat.
This man. Why everyone calls this man a goat. Oh, my goodness. He's pandering again.
I'm not pandering. That's what. So you basically do shows just to hear yourself talk.
Well, I do them to focus on the guests.
So basically, you do this to hear yourself talk.
I mean, technically, yes.
Wow, I do this for an audience. I'm the only. Listen, whenever I do my show, I'm the only guy on it. I could look in a mirror and do that.
No, I mean, it's not the wrong approach. It's like I had that when I first started streaming, there wasn't really anybody watching, so I kind of had to master kind of.
Is that why you don't have mirrors in your house?
I mean, the mirror that I have, when I look into it,
You don't want to fall in love?
What the fuck did you just say to me?
Think about it for a second.
God. People who do YouTube are kind of low-key narcissists. I'm actually technically not a narcissist. I'm just insane, honestly.
You have such a 200 IQ.
That's true.
And all that other stuff that you say great about yourself.
I mean, the 200 IQ really resonates with people, honestly. But no,
So, like,
the reason why I had to head out in a little bit is because I have to go to the store that's up the street. I have to see if they have what I need, and if they don't, I have to come back because they close at 10. So I have like what an.
I don't think buying people is still like legal. MSK.
The opinions espoused by Last Comic Fan are his own and his own beliefs. Honestly, MSK is a noble, honorable congressman.
So you're saying that you are trying to buy a person?
What in the world?
I just said buying people is not allowed anymore. You just said does that opinion
go to the store?
Is it expressed by me and me alone?
This
man said obviously the opposite would be what you believe.
I hate this man. Oh, my brain's frying tonight. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. What was I gonna bring up? Oh my goodness! So all the comics you wanted us to go over are opened up and done.
Did you actually really?
And I broke my freaking smartphone stand. I have to go rebuy it.
Did you get the Hush comics?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
You actually pulled them out and like looked at them.
Okay, so I have 158.
Right. So there they go. There
I have 158.
159
is on my next pull list that I already bought yesterday. So that one's coming.
So it'll be here in about 2 months.
No, okay. So you know how I usually told you I make big orders for and this week that came up was Free Comic Book Day. So I had to make like 14 selections for Free Comic Book Day on my order. So that order, let me see if it's shipped. I honestly don't know if it did. I made it last night. Did you go to your comic shop for Free Comic Book Day? You didn't go this year? Oh, okay.
No. I did not go up there yesterday.
You didn't feel like it?
Yesterday I worked from 6 a.m. till 11 at night. So no, I did not.
No way. You were from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m.? That's fucking insane.
No, 6 a.m. till 11 p.m.
That's insane.
Yes. It was a 17-hour day of...
Is that even legal? To work someone 17 hours?
You can work as long as you want. There's no law that says you...
I forgot your laws. Your state laws are different.
Doesn't matter. And it's not the law. They can legally make me work 8 hours. They can't make me... But I had a ton of work to do that I didn't feel like having to do on Monday. So I stayed and did it. And I get... My overtime is double time. So literally, whenever I'm getting paid like upwards of $400 to $500 an hour, I would much rather make that. I'm not saying it was that. I just said that as a random number.
Allegedly. This guy's gonna kill me. You'll be the death of me one day. Holy crap.
I mean, but I don't do that all the time, but it will ramp up here in like...
What made it get so much work though? Because usually you don't work that long.
So from May till about October is called peak season. So I'm going to be drawing up contracts like every day, all day long. And they take a while because you can't just copy and post wording for the government. They want like specific things annotated and they want certain things there, and you have to so like you ever hear like when you're in court and someone will bring up a point and they'll be like, this person versus this person document and this explains this. Well, that's kind of how you have to put things into contracts. You have to reference other contracts where that applies. So I have to do a lot of research and a lot of things for like, they want everything to be so precise, kind of like in the movie where he was like, check the packets, like that. And Bucky was reading the packets. He was like, Jesus Christ, all this stuff. And it was like that thick. Yeah, dude,
Man.
that's how it is. And I have to type all that. I can't just pull stuff. Yeah.
And then you said you had the meetings, the useless
I have meetings throughout the week. It's usually like Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But now that I'm
like
going to be
useless
doing this,
meetings,
yeah,
it can't all. I don't know. Meetings are always. I don't know, man.
It's a lot of process. Like, so the government will send out stupid things, and like this one was real bad. So I remember the meeting that I had, and I'm not joking, and it was on the new list of pronouns. Like, I'm dead serious. Because people will have them, and you know. So basically what I did was I muted myself, and I do this. I've manipulated Teams to where it'll have me sitting like this. And then every so often I'll do this, and like, and people don't pay attention enough. And it's from one of my other meetings. So I just play that video, and then literally, because my workstation's over here.
Okay.
I turn right over here. I grab this. And I start playing video games. I got so much of Expedition 33.
When you first started, did you do that thing that everyone does where you actually listen into the whole meetings used to be?
When I first started like 7-8 years ago, we were in a building, so I couldn't not listen to them because we would have to go into the conference room. But since it's work at home, yeah, dude, I just listen. Plus, I can in Teams, there's a record option. So I can just record, and I use this program through PowerPoint where if I put like keywords into PowerPoint, like if they say, hey, this meeting is on this specific thing, if I put them into PowerPoint, right, and you hit the record option on PowerPoint, which is just a Word program, I can run the Teams meeting through there, and it'll give me all the keywords and what was said, and I could just play them through that way.
No, I don't disagree. Yeah, like I don't know.
Now, if I have to present a meeting, mine are very short. Mine are very, very short. And
yeah,
my bosses
people
talk to me like, hey, you need to like really get in on these. And I'm like, well, they understand what I'm saying. I was like, my division is like one of the best divisions that we have because I'm not sitting there talking to them for 4 hours. They're actually getting their work done. Like, what do you expect these people to be in a meeting?
Yeah. Holy fucking shit.
Do their work, answer the phones, and how do they do all that?
Were you never did the whole customer service thing of that, did you?
I have, like, when I filled in for people that are sick.
Okay.
But like, I never had to get trained on, like reading off of a sheet or anything like that. Basically, like, honestly, the government stuff is basically like this with customer service. Usually you have the person that answers the phone and then the person that took care of said problem. So it's a lot of just being an operator, just transferring it, like put them on hold and then talk to the person that adjusted whatever they needed or took care of their problem and go, hey, I got so-and-so on the line, transferring it to you. Doink. That's basically it.
Also, I'm pretty sure when you were on eBay, because you said you were buying some of the Century collected editions, when I was surfing through some of them on eBay and Amazon, it said a lot of them were #1 sellers too. So, hopefully at the end of the day, these movies will give someone the inspiration to go and read about the character.
It could, or it could just be like people that are like me that I read a lot of DC. Like I said, I know who Century is. I've read some stuff that he's been in. But I don't know enough about him to say, was this comic book accurate or was this? I just don't know. I'm not one of those people that's going to fake my way through a video and say, oh, I know this. If I don't know it, I don't know it. I mean, I'm just, okay, I don't know. I'm sorry, internet. I let you down.
Yeah. For me, the only thing I knew about Century was the Void and that he fought Hulk at one point. That's literally all I knew. So, so obviously basic things.
Yeah, I remember him versus the X-Men. I remember that. And I remember the 2018 series because that was whenever I was still getting back back into comics and stuff like that. And I was buying a lot. Like I was buying so much stuff back then.
God.
Oh, it was ridiculous, dude. Like whenever that started and I started buying stuff again, like, dude, I was buying like 20 and 30 omnibuses at a time and like trades. Like I was getting box. I remember my Amazon guy one time, he was like, yo, man, the fuck are you doing here? And I was like, those are all books. He was like, what?
Yeah.
You have to make multiple
thing
trips.
too. It's like it's not really the fact that you spend too much on books. You're just thinking to yourself, damn, I just can't stop doing this. Because like you're addicted, but you don't stop because you know it's not a bad addiction. It's like buying books. At the end of the day, that's not going to hurt your mental health or physical health at all.
No, and
unless you don't go overboard and go broke, that's when it becomes an issue. But you're not going to do that.
I can't say like it's gotten me away from like playing video games all the time because I had like I don't want to maybe you call it video game addiction, but like I wasn't playing online stuff. Like I play a lot of single player role playing games, but I made this like area in my basement. I like finished the floor and put up soundboards and all that stuff. So like I didn't want my wife because she's very like accommodating. Like if I wanted to, my whole house could be nothing but comic books and odes to comics and things that I like. But I wanted her to have like her spaces and like her, when you walk into the house, it looks like a house. You know what I mean? I didn't want my living room to be bookshelves of comic books. So I moved a lot of stuff down here. But when the kids started moving out, I took one room. I was like, let me get one room. She was fine with it. She was like, you can have all of them. And I'm like, no, you do stuff, and I want you to have your hobbies and things that you like, So she made the upstairs like how she wants it and things like that. So, yeah. But it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Like I have a lot of like over here I have 2 monitors here for work, and then I have like a real big monitor over here that's like I think it's like a 42-inch monitor. Then I have a laptop with another monitor here. And then over in the wall over there in this like cool, I built this cool box because I bought this freaking awesome computer that has a PS5 and a Xbox Series X built into it. So I made it into this cool box, and I bought this big hub for well, you think you would, but I'm actually further away from the table than you think. Like I can actually turn like and not hit the table. I'm actually like my arms are straight out and I'm not even touching the back row. So like it seems like I'm really close to the action figures, but I'm not.
They always put me on their 4th monitor, as they say.
But so I bought a real big HDMI splitter, and I bought like hundreds of feet of HDMI cable and a crimper, and I learned how to make HDMI cables so I could play video games. Like if I want to, I could switch from this monitor. I can go upstairs and put it on HDMI 3 or whatever, and then play from the computer. And I bought this controller that works with a PS5 and a computer. So I can switch it all on and off and play all the way up in my room if I want to, stuff like that. I made it so like all the stuff's down here, but I could play it wherever. So my wife doesn't have to have all that crap all over the place. And so my son, like he can play his Switch and stuff. All he has to do is switch to the HDMI 4 and stuff like that. That's basically what I did. It took a while, but like I said, I just didn't want all that stuff all out in the open for her because like she works hard too, so I wanted her to have like when people come in the house, which honestly, let's be real, nobody's coming over to see me, let's just be honest,
because
most people are coming
deranged.
Pretty much. So most people that come over are coming over to see her. I wanted them to feel comfortable and stuff, so I did buy this awesome couch though upstairs. I just put that in the living room.
I bought a couch too.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. So I got this. I'll take a picture of it. I'll show. I bought this. It's like this leather. I don't want to say what it actually is. It's a leather couch, right?
Yes.
And each one of the ends of the couch has a recliner on it, so like you can actually recline. And then the middle part, where there's like three things, like three sitting spaces, you can hold the button in on the side, and it reclines too. So like you can everybody can recline in their separate ways. What the coolest part about it is, where my seat is all the way on the end where the sectional piece is, there's a armrest piece that connects into it. And underneath there's a little door, right? And there's a bucket under there. And then when you lift up the armrest, you could put ice in there and your drinks and stuff. And then the ice drips into the bucket and you just empty the bucket. So like if I have, watching a movie or something, I can have cold drinks and I don't have to get up. So that's pretty rad.
You're going to hire a butler so you can have an Alfred?
No.
You don't have like a maid, like a Consuela?
No.
Dang it.
No.
I have a bed. You guys are crazy. You guys are insane. Oh my goodness. Would
From
you
all
put
those,
me?
it's all those ladies that you have in there. They got all juiced up.
Okay, that's wild.
He's like, okay, that's so gay. Women.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, women slow you down in the world. All you need is just guys and your pursuit of money. That's all you need in life. Joking. Would you put me on your fourth monitor for an experience?
Me? No.
Oh,
Why would I do that?
it's a joke that they put me on their fourth monitor. All guys have 4 monitors. Your computer would need like how many HDMI fucking slots?
No, usually whenever I show up, you can buy HDMI splitters. You don't have to have 4 HDMI slots.
Oh my god, thank you for telling. I did not know that.
Yeah, I just told you about it. How do you think I have a computer that goes to all my TVs up on my 3 floors above me?
See, I'll be on his 8th monitor. I told you, this man literally lives in a bat cave. Honestly,
I mean, I usually whenever I watch you, if I'm not on the show, it's on my phone.
Oh, so I'm only good enough for your phone.
Yeah.
Are you an Apple or an Android guy?
I like Android, but I have all Apple stuff because it's a work.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Like they give me like whatever newest iPhone comes out, they just send it to me and then I put the stuff on there.
They might as well just fucking pay your cell phone bill at that point.
I don't pay for cell phone.
I knew it. I hate you.
Like my personal one, like I have one, but it's like, dude, it's so old because I don't use it. You know what I mean? Like my wife, she likes the iPhone, so she does that, and so I think we have AT&T. I'm not sure. It's not expensive, whatever it is.
So that's why you have Max.
Unless she just doesn't use data or whatever. Like for my line and her line, I think I pay like $69 a month. I think it's something, or it might be 79, something like that.
That's crazy.
But I don't have like, I'm dead serious. If you saw my actual personal phone, you'd be like, dude, what is that? Like it's old. I haven't upgraded that since I got it because with work, they give me this and they never said I couldn't use it as a personal phone. So as long as all my contact, I know whenever a red contact calls, that's work.
Okay.
So I just use it for that, but they sent me, I think like an iPhone 16, like a few months ago. I don't know what it was. It was a newer iPhone.
Why?
And then they'll send me another one at the end of the year or whatever, at the beginning of the year.
I guess working for the government would have its perks, honestly.
Well, okay. My company, the company I work for works for the government. I am contracted. I am technically a civilian government contractor with a civilian Q clearance, which allows me to go on bases to talk to people. I can't like go in and get secrets. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of financier money things That's what it is. It's a lot of money stuff. I'm good with numbers. Put it that way.
See, you're not black. That makes you great with reading and numbers.
Why? Black people sell weed and drugs and stuff. They're good with numbers.
Oh God, this man's gonna kill me.
Eighths and shit and quarters and halves and ounces.
Oh God, man. But no, it's crazy. This is the third show you've been on all week. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
Because he wanted a panel show, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give him the panel. He's like,
I just think the panel is fun. I think it brings out the best in you personally. I do. I think it brings out the best in you because when it's one-on-one, dude, you say some shit, dude. I
try to bring out the fun in you. He's like, you're always like, man, I work at my job and it's kind of boring sometimes. I'm sorry for bringing out the fun in you.
Never said that to you. That has never happened.
Could you go on with the narrative? Could you just go along with the narrative once here?
But like, why don't you tell them the real narrative?
Oh no, fuck them. They don't need to know anything.
Yeah, because you know, whenever you should see his answers to some of the things that I text. And I'm thinking maybe he'll just say yes or no or yeah, that's cool. You know, like a normal person. I'll get I was fucking my wife. What?
Oh, before we go, did the power in all your area come back?
So most of it did. There's still an area up on the other side of the big mountain that does not still have power.
You said it was going to be on by Sunday, though. I think
tomorrow supposed to be.
Yeah, I had a thing where I didn't have power for like 3 days. That's awful. I don't want to ever live through that again. I'm good. But
yeah, dude. Like usually it's pretty good, but sometimes, you know, like I said, they didn't know why certain people had power and other people didn't. They didn't know. So that was kind of like a little bit scary in that fact, because how could you why did I have? But here's the thing, I'm a little bit smart and I saved my money and I invested into 2 generators. So if my power goes off, I could turn the generator on, and if that goes down, I could turn the other generator on.
Okay, so generator, your power's out, you turn it on.
It'll power the whole house. Oh yeah,
your internet will go on too. Oh, okay. I didn't know that, honestly. Okay.
Yeah. Unless the internet signal is gone, gone. But yeah, like it'll most of the time, like I can get.
It makes sense for you to have generators because you live in the middle of nowhere, honestly.
I mean, the neighborhood itself, it looks like a normal neighborhood.
Yeah.
But when you go out of the neighborhood, it's sparse. Let's just say that. It's one of those places that there's one way in and one way off. So.
Well, I do have to head out, guys. I have to go to the store before it closes in about 40 minutes.
What's my opinion on putting money into Bitcoin or stocks? Well, so Bitcoin, unless you have like a lot of money to do, you're not going to see like the gains that you would, right? But stocks, I would look into a diversified portfolio. Any broker would know that, with something with low yields and high rewards. A lot of miniature stuff. Start saving your money, make your money work for you. That's honestly like anything that is consistently building. It's your people that go in, like every 0.01% of someone puts in money and, oh my God, I hit a stock and it went through the roof, right? The people that make that type of money they're such high millionaires, right? I'm dead serious, because they're such high millionaires that they could put in millions of dollars and it go up a percent, which a percent in millions means they just made 50. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where if you're talking about like a normal person, like a normal person, it's good to invest in low risk, high reward. Talk to a money financier. They will know it's diversified is the best way to go. In my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's the best way to go.
You don't have that much money tied up in Bitcoin, do you?
I don't have a lot of that. No.
Okay.
No. The only reason why is it's not that I think it's a bad idea. I totally think that it's a cool thing. I'm very worried about what happens when electronic things crash. What happens whenever that goes away? If the world turned into, I know it's so paranoid. I know it is, but look at how white the unders of my arms are. I have not been outside in how long?
No, we know that. I can see that.
So like, I kind of worry about those type of things. So I invest in physicality.
This man said he had swords, so he definitely has guns. Pretty sure you're a
gold is starting to go back up, and I know it's not what the currency is based off of anymore.
Yeah,
but you can always get spot on the money for your gold. You can. There is no like dividend on it, if you know what I'm saying. Whatever gold is worth, right? You can get that if you take it to a shop. They don't sit there and go, okay, well, you gave me this, I get this amount back, percentage wise. Gold is gold. It'll sell for whatever it's worth, period. See what I'm saying? So like the same thing with your stocks. Look for something that's low buy-in, high reward. Plus you also, people think that they just look at the stocks and it goes up points like NASDAQ, stuff like that, right? They think that, right? Well, you also got to look at what the amount of money the buyers put in. Because the stock could be going up and you see that green dot, your green arrow going up, but that doesn't mean that the investors put the amount of money in to yield the stock to go up. You see what I'm saying? And that's where you get guys that you hear that they're bouncing the stock market or playing against the stock market. It's because, or you hear like Ponzi scheme or something like that, or like that huck to a girl that had the coin.
No, meme coin thing. I remember that. Yeah.
Right. So it looks like there's a lot of money invested into something, right?
Yep.
But it's not.
The whole rug pull thing. That's
yes.
Yeah. Remember.
So you'll see a lot of that. So look at things that have always made money. It's almost like how Bitcoin is so hard to invest in because it's so high. But like Apple, things like that. Yes, it goes down. It goes way down, but it goes back up. It goes back up. It'll have dips in depth. So look at something that you can invest small into. Play around with like acorns or stuff like that, right? You know, like stuff that will invest in, like you won't get rich doing penny stocks, but you will start to understand the stock market and you will start to understand the money that you can invest and feel good about investing. That's what I would say.
All right. So the last thing I'll ask you, man, because I have to go to the store. Do you have anything you want to plug beside my not imaginary wife before we leave?
Dear Lord. I'm going to be doing Hush 2 here soon. I'm starting to record it.
Can't believe Laughs put up. I have to put up with him. What the heck? I have to rein him in sometimes, you know? Good Lord. I have to flex my infinite knowledge on this man, and it's crazy.
Infinite knowledge muscle. There's also apps. Hold on. There's also apps that you can use that invest your money into things that like Congress people do. Like, you know, like Nancy Pelosi, how the hell did she become like a multi-millionaire? Like, how did that happen?
True. Yeah.
Well, you can invest into the same things they're investing into. I don't know how much that works, but I would just get a financier, ask to talk to them, see what they think. Cause like the stock market right now is not, you know, the greatest. And, there is no get rich quick scheme that works on a percentage wise that you're going to do it unless you like invent something, you know? So just you have to be comfortable in what you invest in. You have to be comfortable in what you invest in. Trades and military tech is always going to be there. Aerospace is always going to be there. Things that you see people pumping a lot of money into is always going to be there. So yes, I agree. Well, if you just want to invest and save, try to go and see if you have a credit union instead of a bank. If you have a credit union,
Orange Venture's right. Invest in Ubisoft. They definitely have great ideas about how to make money in the gaming industry.
Look and see what some of their CDs are worth and the percentages that they give on savings because credit unions are always way better than regular banks.
All right. So as you guys know, tomorrow we just have the Cloud9 podcast. And speaking of failures of investing, teams that constantly invest in the James Harden and failing, there's always a constant in life. James Harden not winning in the playoffs, death, taxes, and me being a 200 IQ individual. It's things that are just constantly going to happen in life. Monday,
Well, it was
we
that
have
third quarter, that second and third quarter killed him.
Oh God, don't give me hope. Wait, he did.
It did.
And Monday, the panel show on Monday, we're gonna go over Thunderbolts' box office opening weekend.
Oh, I want to be there for that. I can't wait to hear you flip flop.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you're gonna flip flop whenever
I'm always gonna point out problems. I'm always gonna do
guys
that.
come on. You wait till guys come on that really want to talk shit, and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, this movie was stupid. I hated everything about it. Could you believe how dumb and thin the no story plot was?
Hey,
could you believe it?"
Hey, I'm saying about what I said. That movie's plot is not good, but
not good. What wasn't good about it?
Century eating my ass.
It's right because that happened. It's a freaking redemption movie that told a redemption story.
What people are gonna point out, I know eventually, is the no, I don't know if that's gonna get pointed out later on. I'll have to kind of think about it.
Say what you wanted to say. Say it.
The whole the void thing, where essentially he can kind of like kill you, put you in purgatory, but then if he's just beaten, it all goes away. Would you consider that like fake stakes, kind of?
Well, did you hear what I said earlier? No, because you don't pay attention whenever I was talking.
I did hear you.
What did I say?
So, thank you guys for checking out this episode.
I literally went over this. I'm just
pointing out, if people didn't like some of the contrived bullshit in the movie, I did say
that didn't have overall to do with the plot or the story of the movie.
I will say this. Go in with the brain turned off. You'll have.
But you say it's bad. It's not, guys. It's literally not.
You can turn off your brain. Dude, I love Fast and Furious movies.
It's a regular redemption movie. If you like that sort of thing, it's fine.
I had a redemption arc, and I'm not a crackhead yet. All right. So, Sunday, Cloud9 podcast. Monday, we're gonna have.
What is Cloud9?
Good Lord, I'll explain to you later. No, you're too old right now.
No, Cloud9 is literally like a THC vape company. I'm dead serious.
Oh God,
it's Cloud9 like, ooh, I'm on Cloud9.
Oh goodness,
I feel so good from League of Legends.
Yeah, thank you.
League of Legends, people, and he has the gall to make fun of me.
You play video games. That makes you a loser, technically.
Here's the thing, MSK. Here's the secret. You ready?
All right, the secret.
I don't give a fuck.
Yes. And Diddy is still alive. Oh, Monday, going over Thunderbolts' box office opening weekend. Tuesday, we're gonna do a comic book review on the Summer of Superman special.
Are we?
And another Power Ranger topic that came up that we didn't get a chance to go over. And
I can't wait for you to read this. Because I am surprised. I'm dead serious at the Martian Manhunter, but I'm also, this might be Challengers of the Unknown. This might actually be my favorite thing in All In right now.
So you're saying you're all in on Challengers of the Unknown?
So far, through the first 5 issues, it's refreshing to have a storybook based on stories and not like what can freaking, well, they don't have any powers. So like, they have some little things that are happening to them. But like when Kirby created them, they were just regular people, and yeah, I think that for All In, for what it's covering. Yes. You want to know what the hell, what happened to the world when Darkseid left, right? You want to know what happened.
Don't worry. Dan Slott is coming to save us with Superman Unlimited. I guarantee you there's going to be a Batman Unlimited at one point. I guarantee you.
Dude, Dan Slott.
Good Lord. And art done by Ralph Albuquerque. What a freaking name.
It should be called like Dan Ralph and Slot Albuquerque.
And you know what's crazy, guys? Supergirl's being written by a Looney Tune named Sophie Campbell. Because that's how you honor Superman, having a Looney Tune write a Supergirl book. Because men can write women better than women can write women.
Supergirl, does that really matter?
I like Kara.
I don't.
I hate people. But
I mean, I'm just saying I don't like, I don't care if other people do. Just like I don't care if other people hate Superman. I don't, that doesn't stop my enjoyment of things.
It's okay. I have the tools to cope with whatever life throws at me. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We're going to have our show on Tuesday when we go over the Summer of Superman special, because it is now Summer of Superman, and James Gunn's Superman movie is almost upon us. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about what the Man of Steel is going to be doing in these upcoming months. So thank you guys. Have a great weekend. We're signing